And we're good.
Good whenever, bro.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
What's going on, everybody? Hey,
it's Permanent Relegation Podcast, and we're here at the Indy Fringe.
Indy Fringe for the BYB
yes.
Board meeting.
Andy and Chris.
Chris and Andy.
We're good.
And we got this guy over here. We're telling him, hang in. We're going to give him the fake countdown.
Hey, you got to be behind. Josh, you got to be behind the microphone, sir. You got to be behind that microphone, sir.
I need you on the microphone.
We need you on the microphone.
Need you on the mic.
We need you to get loud.
Hot mic. Get on it. No check. No mic.
You got to get on that microphone.
Hang on. We got the board person. She's getting us. In the corner. We're rocking live. Coming up. Hang on. Hold on. Hold on.
Hot mic.
Hold on.
We got a hot mic here.
She's working it.
I like it how it starts the show in Spanish.
Huh? That was really funny.
They can't hear us. Now we're good. Now we're good.
It's at PR Podcast hashtag
yes.
BYB cast. Josh Mason.
Josh Mason. Are we going to do this the whole show?
Yes.
Okay.
The reason why we want to have a meeting prior to the season is we want to make sure we're as transparent as we possibly can be in terms of the daily workings of something like
transparency, right? Unlike the government.
This is like a PBS show.
It's a spelling bee.
We've been part of other supporters groups bringing knowledge over to us. What I try to do in some ways is trying to find ways to drive up additional dollars and funds to make sure that our group can continue, and we make sure the team Indy 11 gets all the support they need on the game day and get the best game day experience. So people that are part of our team want to stay for a long period of time and not try to run off to other markets because we want to be in Indy. So I want to thank Tom Dunmore from the team coming this evening and all the board for being part of this evening as well. So really quick, again, at PR Podcast, please feel free to tweet your questions as we go through the evening. These guys are welcome to interrupt me as they see fit, because we really want to make sure this is a transparent meeting. If you see the agenda, we're going to go through some quick things that we're working on this evening. We're trying to make sure you understand how the cash flow kind of thing works as well, where it kind of comes from, how we try to generate it. Because obviously, as a non-for-profit, we try to do everything we can to make sure that we're trying to give as much support to the team as possible. So, thank you guys for coming. First thing we'll talk about tonight is the budget considerations and projections. So, let me talk to you a little bit about the budget and how it kind of works.
Budget.
So, I will be posting to the Facebook page as well as the main page for BricyardBattalion.com the 2015 projections for budget. Just give you an idea where our money kind of comes from. So we do have an agreement with the team where we get percentage of sales, percentage of sales of scarf sales. So we get 10% of all the revenue that generated from scarf sales specifically. So as you go to the stadium, we know the first year is going to look very different than the second year. So to give you an idea of what we made last year, just on the scarf sales alone, we made roughly about $10,000, give or take a buck, on scarf sales alone, knowing and projecting that the second year, people already own scarves now, right? So they're not going to be generating as much revenue. So we're projecting somewhere between a 30 and 40% net loss. So we're looking at between 5,000 and 6,000 each year. Mr. Dunmore and I talk about solutions in the future we can look at. We're not there yet, but we're going to continue to have this discussion.
Hello.
With the
board I think that's working now.
We did generate revenues in other ways in gold membership. Now, gold membership was rather high this past year. The reason why is because it really worked well with the bringing on of the season tickets. We had that issue this year. We couldn't get to work the way we wanted to get it work, so we didn't have as many gold members this year. So we're going to see a degradation in that cost as well. The other thing we made money on last year was roughly made $2,000 in total on the foot golf tournament. So some of the people here also played in that tournament. My friends here and some folks over here played in the foot golf tournament. We actually made revenue on that, which was great. Thanks to our friends down in Franklin, Indiana, who helped us generate that revenue by letting us come at a lower cost that we can get back. So we're going to do that. We're planning on doing that event again this year as well. So we know for a fact this year our projected budget is going to be somewhere almost $10,000. Not obviously the total budget we did last year. So we're going to have less to work with in the total in the whole. But the idea is that with the tailgate as well. So if you guys notice that if you've been to a tailgate before, we give away the product that's there. We don't charge for the beer anymore. way, shape, or form. But we always do take donations for folks, and that the donation's not for the beer. The donation's for the atmosphere, right? So we do make investments not only in the beer, but our friends in Flat 12 bring the PA system. We bring up fencing this year. We have a new system we're trying to do for tailgating across the board.
Fencing?
Well, this is important so that you don't have under 21 people
Oh, okay.
and getting in trouble. So excise is heavy down at IDPY, so this is a big deal.
That need to be the big tailgates. That's what Derek Drover's in charge of.
The
Picking the
Drover
right tailgates to have the right experiences, but if those of you who raise your hand in this room have been to a tailgate, and so you understand the experience we're talking about, right? So
Never been.
it's very unique versus a Colts or a Pacers or anything else you'd be doing.
What is tailgating?
There's investment in time. Another thing I'd like to encourage you guys too, because I mentioned the tailgates, is that if you can encourage to your volunteerism, we can always use additional bodies to help set those things up, because it's ends up being Derek and
Let's check if
a
that's a
skeleton
real
crew of
word.
folks typically get that done.
volunteerism.
What's
So
that?
we know we're going to work at a lesser
Oh,
budget
volunteerism?
this year, but we have one advantage we didn't have before, and that's our Flat 12 partnership. So we'll go right into
Check.
that. First of all, is there any questions in regards to the budgeting aspect? And again, I'll be more transparent. I'll post all
We
of our
apologize for all the
transactions
checking. We just
social media
we have a
as well
weird
as our-
setup here
as well as
with a
the
microphone down on the floor by a speaker, so we're trying to give you the best audio.
Yeah.
Thank you for bearing with us, and
Questions
we
are
will now
we do
shut
make
the hell
some
up.
Revenue, limited
No, we
revenue
won't.
on BYB scars and things we generate for ourselves in terms of wearables. And I was trying to say, if you have ideas for wearables you think that people will purchase and you think there's value in, we'll certainly look at those. So bring those ideas to us, and we'll be happy to make
Like
them.
a permanent
So,
relegation scarf?
obviously, we want to make revenue where we can. Flat 12, is there any questions via thus far, financially wise, I can be transparent about, answer any questions about it again. Our treasurer also said he'd be happy for me to give you his personal phone number. You're welcome to call him and ask him anything. You can say, do we have anything?
Yeah. Are you running in 2016?
I'm not running in 2016.
Okay.
Thank you.
Are you sure?
Absolutely.
Okay.
positive.
All right. We're good.
Trust me,
Those are the hard questions.
Breathe air at this
Okay.
point. So, but I want to make sure from dollars and cents that I can answer questions. So, there's no such thing as stupid questions.
Yes, there are.
That number, so I talked to Brad Newbold, who works with the
The
team, and
question
I
was
asked
about
what
the
his projections
finances
were in
and
regards to what
projecting,
do you think
so-
you're going to do in revenue this year? So you think about
decreased
last year, they were
30%
buying gear for
in
the
scarf
first time,
revenue.
right? Their first scarf, their first jersey, whatever it was, and we have an opportunity always to put a scarf in the stands.
Remember,
as
if you
well
have
for
questions,
retail
hit us
through,
up at PR Podcast Show,
BYB. So
hashtag
we're gonna continue
BYBcast.
to do
We'll go
that.
ahead and relay
Here's
those
the thing, is that a lot
questions.
of people already
Awesome.
projected, right? We don't know. My hope is you guys all buy 30 scarves each, and we all make a lot of revenue, but I don't think it's feasible, right? So I'm just trying to be honest in terms of what we think the projections are going to be. But I do want to talk about the Flat 12 relationship. And I'm going to grab a piece of paper and hand some things out so I can talk.
Show 'em now.
So what is the agenda? While Josh is handing out pamphlets,
So
nicely
we just went through the-
collated
right.
pamphlets.
So we went through the budget consideration projections. Right now is the Flat 12 partnership.
So those of you here tonight are actually tasting for the first time in can the full 90 beer from Flat 12. So, and it's
Fantastic.
Again, there's only so
We're gonna give you
many-
a quick shot of this
So there's only
can.
so many supporters who
It's
have this kind of
gorgeous.
support all together.
So nice.
thank
Look
you.
at that
Thank
up
you
close,
for
personal.
putting down the podcast. So
There
those
you
of you
go.
at home, you made poor decisions. You totally should have been here. But I want to talk to you guys about, this is an email I received from Sean O'Connor, who's one of the directors at Flat 12. What our agreement looks like. This is simply an agreement. You can see the BYB logo in Indy 11 is featured on the can. This is a very unique partnership. There's only a few supporters groups in the country that where Peter and I were having this conversation not so long ago. But there's only a few in the country that have this kind of support. And I can't speak to their support levels, what they do, but what I can do is be transparent in terms of what Flat 12 is committed to us. So here's the thing, is that it's a drink to play scenario. So if we support Flat 12, they turn around and support us. It's a very cool scenario across the board. So as a guy who works in alcohol and alcohol marketing,
I was gonna say I like the idea of drinking to play.
Essentially, the way it works is that the dollars they would have spent against marketing, they're going to give to the Bricyard Battalion. So it's really our job to get the name and the word out about this product and make sure we buy to retail stores as well as the on-premise. And I say the on-premise being bars and restaurants. So it's nice that my buddy Wolf is here tonight from Chatham Tap and Fisher, so I can basically push him and harass him into making sure it's on draft. So thanks, buddy. So give you an idea. So a case of full 90, a case is a 24 can, 16 ounce. It's 24 can, is it not? 16 ounce pack, 16 ounce can pack is a case. Is it correct? So for every case that we sell,
Is that a metric system?
They only sell it by the case. We will pick up $1 in revenue to the Bricyard Battalion. So people ask all the time about what's the accountability level in this? How do you know about this? So Sean put me in direct contact with Monarch Beverage, who's actually a former employee of mine I used to work for, and I get a direct report from Monarch Beverage in regards to the sales that I turn around and show Sean, and Sean will cut the check to the Bricyard Battalion directly. So we are non-for-profit. We're obviously turning these dollars around and hopefully supporting a brewery that's willing to support us. So it's really us to us as consumers and soccer fans to get this word out and get it out to our friends and family and whoever it might be, and make sure we're doing the right things, because this is a very cool and unique opportunity. So in Sean's email, it talks about a half barrel. So there's a half barrel full 90, which is a keg. It's a $3 donation to us as well. And it talks about the different levels here. But if you go to the brewery itself and order a full 90, so our hope is to do a lot of events at Flat 12, ensure that we're making sure we're pulling as many times a full 90 as well, in terms of in our on-premise accounts like Chatham Tap, Downtown Fishers, and Union Jack, who have always been great supporters of the Bricyard Battalion and Indy 11. Also in here, he gives some projections that are really, really aggressive in my opinion, but honestly, I think in a fair evaluation, we can make up that gap of revenue that we're missing just in Flat 12 alone, if not maybe potentially double it. So, and that's a very conservative projection, and that really requires us doing the work. So I work with the Flat 12 team who's here this evening with Val and Jamie in regards to making sure that we're putting together programming and making sure we're getting
Chris doing a level check.
Package stores as well, so you guys can make the same decision in a liquor store or a grocery store potentially as you could in an on-premise account like a bar or restaurant. So it's really up to us if we want to do anything with it. If we decide to drink the product, then we turn around, we turn heads, we make dollars for ourselves, we choose not to drink it. But I think that the Bricyard Battalion is strongly behind it, and we're doing some things in place with the team to make sure that people in our section are keenly aware that they buy that product, they will get return on investment. Are you guys with me so far? Any questions in regards to the 512 agreement? Anything on social media and or in the room?
We're still good. They're just enjoying themselves.
What?
They're enjoying the broadcast.
Everybody's enjoying the broadcast. We're enjoying the product. So you guys can enjoy the broadcast all you want. We're
Cheers.
Good stuff in advance of all of you. So you made decisions to be at home. We decided to be here and drink.
Yeah,
so
drunks.
I'm making sure I crack every can right in the microphone.
Any other questions though? Just for transparency's sake? It's a very cool, unique partnership, obviously. What do you guys think of the can? It's up. Not my can, the can. It's very clear. Very cool logoing. Obviously, Indy 11's feature problem in the can. The BYB logo's on there as well. So my biggest thing tonight, if you're out there and you're a social media guy, take a picture of it, tweet it, Facebook it, make sure people know that's going to be available. The kickoff is April 11th at the tailgate itself. So we're going to softly launch it just with our friends at Chatham and Union Jack. And Boom Boz is the other place that we've talked to thus far is supporting us. Those accounts will get some soft launches. We'll do some BYB support at those accounts, and we'll do a full-on launch to everybody on April 11th, the first tailgate. So good so far?
Sure.
All right. Tailgating and planning. So I'm going to turn it over quickly to Derek Drover and talk about what we have planned from a tailgating perspective. So Derek?
Coming up next is Derek Droger, who heads up the tailgates. So when you see him out there,
He also goes as the Juggernaut.
Yes, round of applause for Josh.
this was for you.
Get off your phone.
This was for you, Derek. It wasn't for Josh.
Oh, where am I going? Anyway, once again, there will be a tailgate this year.
This guy's straight out of an 80s movie.
Tailgate, especially thanks to our good friends at Indy 11, who we love and support. They will be covering half the cost of a stage, a band, and a live DJ. So it'll be a good time. Yeah.
John Hughes movies. Yes. Referencing John Hughes.
So you shaved your hair? You would have had the best hair in here tonight.
No, man, his hair looks gorgeous.
Derek takes it now.
God, he's got gorgeous hair.
Would like donations to go towards TIFO and stuff like that. So other costs can be expensed towards this. We will be having a different look this year, sadly, due to regulations imposed on us by the excise police officers. We no longer can make it a family event. You have to be 21 or over to be inside the tailgate area, but you can still
Probably a good
have
idea.
children outside playing the futsal courts, playing in the games right outside the tailgate, and be watching from inside the tailgate. We'll have a snow fencing as the barrier. It's about 2.5 feet tall. So that's kind of sad, but it's the best we could do with what we're given. We got to do what we got to do to get it done. Don't really expect anything else to change other than the first tailgate. We'll have at least 2 games like this per season, one game like this per season, 2 games in total, where we'll have a live band, a lot of fun. And those are the games you really want people to bring out, bring all your friends, show them that it's a good time so it can raise interest and awareness throughout the entire process. really, that's all I have. Yes.
Do you get a fence?
Snow fencing?
Yeah, the fence. Don't we have to get a fence for the?
Yes, that's a snow fencing. Yeah, it's the tuna.
We figured that out.
Do you guys have one?
No, I thought you had.
Yes, yes. Yes, we figured that out. We're good. I was like,
That was the best line of questioning I've ever heard in my life. So where is the fence? I'm kidding.
Lowe's right now.
So there is no fence. There's no fence.
Fence is fine. All right.
A room full of smartasses.
What I can do to make it better, what we can do to make it better. We're also actually looking for cornhole sets. If anybody knows anybody that makes them for free.
Can we get the best of 10,000 Maniacs, like as a soundtrack for every single tailgate? Oh, wait a minute. That's a little too old for you. I'm sorry.
I'm 22 years old.
I'm sorry. Damn it, I'm dating myself.
You remember college? I just got back from spring break.
Enjoy it while you can, because responsibility's coming.
All right. Of cornhole boards? As many as we have. We have one.
These are the
set
important parts of the
currently, and I
BYB
think we have
conversation
one
here. Cornhole
value
sets.
set.
Did you say anything about wristbands or anything like that?
A couple more, 2 more. Yeah, I mean, do it. Yeah, exactly. That's what we're looking for right there. Hey.
Hey, did you say anything about like wristbands or anything like that?
Oh,
for
yeah.
the...
I mean, when we come back in, that's yet to be decided. We still have the stamps that we used last year.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that'll be fine by excise standards. And if it's not, we'll buy the wristbands again. Either way, we will be strictly imposing, and we won't be checking IDs. It won't be me checking ID like it was last year. We'll have CSC at the gate checking every single body's ID. So you have to have it to get in. Doesn't matter what age you are. You have to have your ID to be able to get in the tailgate. But once you're in, it's a good time. It's good fun, you know. I'm glad I'm over 21 finally.
Freaking Matthew McConaughey up here. All right. It's a good time.
Are we really
Sometimes it
in
gets
Lincoln?
real hot down here in Texas. Gotta take my shirt
So,
off.
all right, we'll take it. Thank you.
Are we driving the Lincoln,
Absolutely.
or is Lincoln driving us?
Lincoln. Feels good.
Pretty much, yeah. It's the exact same area, right at Barnhill in New York at the corner there.
Yep.
On Lot B. We will actually be blocking off an additional row of parking for the tailgate to ensure mostly safety, so we have nobody turning in there and hitting anybody on the way out. Yeah.
Derek.
Yes.
Okay, so to get into the snow fencing, it's 21 plus, correct?
Right.
What's being done for the under?
We have a futsal court. There's just not much for me to. If anybody has any ideas that would like to put on another tailgate, absolutely. But
So
true.
there's not a huge area.
Right.
So it's fine.
The question was, what is going to happen?
Of the area, and the other half is all the futsal courts and stuff for kids to do.
Okay, so where's why it's half of what-
Right. Yeah.
We have a question from the internet.
And who is it from?
This is from the Bricyard Battalion North Side chapter, the BYB Battery 37. Is the fence invisible?
Will there be collars for all the people attending?
Will 21 and older be handed out
Shot
shot collars?
Okay.
Shot collars, and the best part about the shot collars, Peter Evans is in charge of them. You're all
Oh, no.
He's cranking them to 11.
Yeah. Fantastic. Should I tell my?
Are you still drunk?
No. So I will tell one spring break story. It's so popular.
So much for that hour. Josh, keep it moving.
So, all right. It's probably not a great idea.
Looks like no after show podcast.
Tell the damn story.
Future employers, I'm better than this.
Yes, we are. We're on the internet, and this is being recorded and broadcast live.
Fantastic.
Every social media.
Anywho, all right. So my best friend name is Luke. He's from Ireland. We go to the bar, and there's 3 groups of girls. We talk to them, and they all kind of brush us off. We go to the 4th group of girls over here. And my buddy Luke introduced himself. Hey, I'm Luke. And he says in his Irish accent. And they go, oh, where are you from? Oh, I'm from Ireland. They look at me and go, you from Ireland? I'm like, oh, yeah, absolutely.
Of course you are.
And this compounds itself about 30 minutes of talking in this terrible Irish accent. I mean, it sounds more Australian than Irish. It's not even English, it's Australian. It just
Just in
pounce
case
on top of each
you didn't
other.
know
They
that in
introduce us to our
Australia they
friends
don't
that think
speak
it's so cool.
English.
They speak
We go
Australian.
there,
They speak
and about
shitty
it's
Irish.
like 10 p.m. lasts till about 4 a.m. and grows about 45 people that all think I'm from Ireland with a fake Irish accent. So I'm sitting there talking to him, and my best friend Isaac looks at me, and I'm just like, I can't do it anymore. So about 6 hours me having a fake accent. That's the story. That's it. That's all I got. Everything else I forgot. So, thank you.
Spring break represent.
Yeah, I'd shotgun this.
Oh, to be
Derek
22.
McDroger.
The Drogernaut.
If you need other jokes about punchlines, Derek will be here all night. So,
Hey,
So next,
glad you shared that.
so next moving up,
So
we
a
should
few
be
things I
going
was
into
able to do
website
before I should have started,
redevelopment,
I probably should hear some of the folks
covering
in
kind of the
so,
photo page, and then
Derek is
heading
a
into
noted
social
tailgate,
media management.
extraordinaire.
we're doing intros.
Peter Evans will be speaking here in just a few minutes in regards to all things game day, if you will, and operations. Eric Knowles here as well. We'll be speaking about some game day operation things as well. Thomas, you can chime in as well from a capital standpoint as well, and things we're looking at for this year. So anybody has anything else? Brett Corbett's over here as well as vice president of the board. Is there anything else in the room?
Boo.
I prefer to drink with. And Tom Gilmore, I mentioned right there, our guys from the PR podcast, Chris and Andy, who've been with it. So one of the things I will say about the PR podcast, since I just mentioned it, is that some people forget about the listenership of the show.
Are we
Listenership
are
of
we
the show is
skipping?
actually-
We've got a spot on the agenda that you can save that for later.
Didn't you?
guys wanna
Yeah,
speak?
you can save that for later.
I'll give you time.
Okay.
I'll give you time.
Thanks, buddy. Love you.
Do you think things that did bring
Just
from a
hold it.
business standpoint that I want people to have, which is important to me, that everybody that knows we might be funny, we might be all friends, but we do actually have bylaws and the way the board operates. I made copies of those for you this evening, so those who like those copies to bring home and hold us accountable, we certainly can. I want you to have copies of it. Well, they're also posted on the website as well, but I'll make sure people have copies of those if they'd like to take them as well this evening. There's people that are not here this evening, Gabe Peters, James Cormack in particular, that I know would like to be here but have other obligations this evening. They're also on the board as well, those you may or may not know them. So, and Justin, who is all things dollars and cents, who sends me things in black and white, doesn't show me.
Hey, yeah. Why don't you explain that?
So, yeah, sometimes when you on a budget, you don't want it all in black. Sometimes you need things in red. You know, it's a negative. It's a requirement when you're doing a budget. So, thanks, Justin, my buddy. Website redevelopment. So, this
Where'd
is
that
kind of
bus
an
go?
opportunity for
Someone just got thrown under it.
guys as well. From a redevelopment standpoint, we're looking to revamp the website, add some additional things into it. So we always want to make sure it's fan friendly. We actually recently added a web page, Sings with BYB, which is a website that directs you directly to all the chants and the things that Peter and his team have created in regards to game day experience. Has anybody been on the website recently or have any feedback they can provide us? Because certainly we want to make it better. News feature, I can say that.
The question's about news feed on the
News
website.
feature's not updated. I'll go and update that real quick. And I say that because a lot of the news things that are written, we've written. So if people want, this is where really the meetings really work in our favor, is that we need volunteerism, right? We are a non-for-profit group who work for free, who happen to love a soccer team, right? So we need as much volunteerism as possibly can. We do work with some friends. Some of you guys might know the Indy 11 Heaven page, that they do a great tactical breakdown. Those guys are friends of ours. We're going to work together more this year. So we've identified things that we can do. But from a news standpoint, a lot of times we really focus on social media and less the webpage. So we certainly could use your guys' help. Those of you who do like to write on behalf of the team or write articles, we certainly be welcome to that. So to answer your question, was that fair to you? I actually wrote 3 or 4 of those articles, if that tells you anything. So if we can get more of that kind of activism, we always, and people submit articles to us, we're happy to post them up there by all means. So,
I just think an event calendar would be nice.
event calendar. Okay.
An events tab or somewhere we can.
And while they're kind of going over this, let you know a question had come up about food trucks during tailgating and food. Food trucks will be back. In the first game, there will be free food. Free food at the first game.
So 10 to 15 volunteers for tailgate.
I mentioned the teardown process will also have to be taking our pod located inside the stadium. So we'll need a lot of people being carried. So
We'll talk about, so we'll talk more about the pod, what we're looking to do from that standpoint this year too. We actually needed some storage solutions, so we'll talk about that. Anything else from a website standpoint? We do actually have BYB photographers who actually go down to the field and take photos for us as well, so we utilize those quite a bit. So if you have interest in even doing that, we're welcome for volunteers in that way as well. I'll mention social media really quick. Obviously, we have. Oh, sorry. Is there a question?
No, the lady with the D61 camera in her hand back here might volunteer.
Oh, really? So, hey, if you have a nice camera, we'll be happy to take you. Social media management, we're making sure that people obviously utilize our Twitter. Right now, we basically focus on Twitter and Facebook. We're always looking for people to monitor Reddit for us. Reddit, people are Reddit users. I'm one of a few that are out there. Reddit, Vine, anything else we need that you think we need or we're short on. We're looking for your feedback. I do not Snapchat. I do not Vine. I do not do those sort of things. I'm looking to do Twitter and Facebook. I'm always looking for things that, what are the ways do we need to make sure we're engaging our fan base that we're missing? So if you have any suggestions, we're always open to those as well. And if you need things pushed out via social media, please call anybody on the board, across the board, in regards to an event that you're involved with, and we can somehow support you in any way, shape, or form getting the word out. We're more than willing to do so, especially if you're a BYB board member. So, Jamie.
How about getting pictures on social media, drinking a BYB beer, the whole 90 cans, like there's kind of promotion?
I think we were doing that already this evening. I think you've probably seen 40 since we walked in.
Consumers out there, if they go to Town Top, like,
Certainly.
Yeah.
Well, just so you're aware, and I think I told Val the man, so you get one of the things that Tom and I are working on is actually adding signs to our section that say, if you drink this product, you do support this section. So just so people are aware that they can make that choice. It's a consumer choice. They don't have to necessarily, but they're welcome to do so and supports the section. So the things we're working on in the future. Correct. So one of the things we're trying to get done as well is we're actually putting social media signs in our section as well. This is more game day operations. I apologize, Peter. But, we're looking to do signs for social media tagging, so you guys know how to tag things while you're in the section and you're making poor social media choices, as I call them, when you're drinking and having a good time at a soccer game. But we're going to give you hashtags and things you can utilize so people can find them and search them, so you can get everybody else's game day experiences as well. So those are things that will be in development for first couple games of the season. Correct. You never friend your boss. Note that in advance. So things that we're looking to do. These are facts.
I think there's another effing your boss as well. Probably don't do that either.
No.
Partnerships
Yeah,
for
I hear that's
2015 and
bad.
beyond, just a quick comment on that. We're trying to utilize some of the same relationships the team has with like the Naptown Roller Girls and other folks that we're trying to do some partnership with. We're also done some things with Wheeler Mission recently with James Cormack and where did Brett go? And Brett went. We're doing some things with Wheeler Mission.
Too much beer already.
And then also, this other group that we're working with, Wheeler Mission. We actually have a recycling group we're working with for the site for game days as well. So we're constantly reaching out to groups trying to find ways we can diversify and get other non-for-profits involved in what we're doing. Yes. Oh, there's Brett. Do you want to talk about the Wheeler partnership a little bit? Please do.
Which one?
All right, so we partnered up with Wheeler Mission.
So next we're talking about partnerships for 2015 expansion, starting with Wheeler Mission. Here's Brett.
Volunteer aspects, but on the April 11th game, we are doing a drive for various things like socks, gym cans, things like that. Not necessarily food, but if you want to bring food, whatever. Toiletries. We're establishing contacts with various vendors and distributors to acquire certain products that the homeless will need later on. But as a whole, that's our basis. We're going to start with them. We're going to work our way up to different volunteer groups, such as like Keep Indianapolis Beautiful and Habitat for Humanity. That's that? Yes.
So April 11th.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll get
We'll
more
have-
info on that.
Yeah, we'll have. They'll be Wheeler Mission will be there, and we'll be collecting stuff for them.
Also have, at Tailgate, we also have the can ladies, where we having, so when you have these cans, going to the can ladies, for recycling, but we'll have that as well.
Who else?
Really quick, going into thank you. So I want to thank James Cormack for saying at that meeting, he said, it's nice when a non-for-profit can help out a non-for-profit. So working together to get that accomplished, and that's some things we're looking to do. And again, the more bodies we have that volunteer, the more we can spread the work out. As you can see, that we're a small but mighty bunch for the most part, and we need all the help we can get, because I'm telling you, the work falls on a few people. So if this is generally something you have a passion with and want to get involved, and if you wrote your name on the sign-in sheet, I'm going to contact you. I'm going to ask you how you want to contribute, and we'll let you do so. I mean, If we make our core group stronger, the better we're going to get as a group across the board. We can lessen the work across everybody and get more done. That's what we're hoping to happen. A few things about events and planning for 2015 before I turn over to Peter about all things game day. I want to mention a few things. So, yes, Mr. John, good. Hi, Brandon. Hi, buddy. It's going okay.
Whoa.
You can't boo Brandon. That's not fair.
Whoa.
He just got here.
Whoa.
You can boo Brandon. I apologize. He does not care who you boo. So a couple of things for event planning that we're working on for 2015. Additional gold events. Those of your gold members, you can see that we've beefed up the gold events in terms of access to the team within the 11. So thank to Tom and the team for us to do that. The Women's World Cup is coming up this year again, so we'll do a lot of events around the Women's World Cup. We're working with the team to develop those things as we speak. The Heritage Night is once again happening. So last year, it was a passion project of mine to making sure there are folks that played for the Blades or Blast or the Daredevils or the IU or Notre Dame or did anything contribution-wise to Indiana soccer across the board got recognition, and that's going to happen again in 2015. I think the date's on June 13th. So keep that on your radars as well. It's great to see all the alumni come back and come to market. Foot golf will happen again. We're trying to find a date that works for the in-between both the fall and the spring season. As you can imagine, there's not as much of a World Cup break this year, so we're not going to have a big gap. So we're trying to find a date that works for that. The Charitable Foundation we're working on. We're starting to put stuff in the BYB suites, BYB information in the suites for members who didn't realize what our group does. So when they're sitting in the nice posh seats and they hear us all screaming and yelling, they know exactly who we are. We're working on the away game aspect as well as the Open Cup. We always kind of wait for that information to hit us before we put together buses to get people from point A to point B. We're always working with Indiana Soccer and finding ways to volunteer with them. I mentioned that. Working on kickoff week as we speak. Some of you may not know, but Indy 11 is working strongly on a futsal project. So we're trying to find ways to work with futsal and grow that project across Indianapolis. And one of the things that I think we haven't done a very good job of, but two groups in particular I think we need to reach more of, is the Hispanic community and the youth community. So this is where we really need some additional help with. And it's because, number one, my Spanish is very poor. So that doesn't really help. I have reached out to a few pastors that I'm friends with that I grew up playing soccer with and a few folks of that nature, but I really need someone who can own that process, own that project. And the same thing with the youth battalion. I've actually made contacts with a gentleman at the State House this past week, or at the announcement of rallying for the stadium. I met a gentleman who would like to have some interest in helping us put together the youth battalion. So I'm hopefully we'll take his passion and turn it into something and tune the East End into something similar to what the West End is currently. So that's what we hope to see take place. Eric.
What are the possibilities about trying to get actual bus trips to away games further than the Akron?
The question is about getting
we can certainly find ways to fund
official
it.
bus trips.
As you saw, we tested
further
it
into
with
like the Akron.
the away game to Akron.
They're
We
trying
can
to
put together
work on a
buses.
away
Buses
game.
cost on average about $1,500 depending how far you're going to go.
Wow.
It's overnight. Yeah, Boo is right. So if you're doing it overnight, you get closer to $2,500 because you pay for
Somebody
a hotel.
owns a bus.
Someone who's put together a lot of bus trips. So Andrea can tell you, I've done a lot of U.S. soccer bus trips. They're very expensive. But it's not unfeasible. I mean, renting a van sometimes can be better amongst your group of friends, but it's certainly something we can look at. It's a matter of having enough away fans to go. If we can maybe you and I can work together to identify the games you want to go to and see if we can't get interest early enough to go. So, Derek.
Tampa and Jacksonville play back-to-back. Tampa, Jacksonville. Wednesday, Saturday game.
So you're saying it's a spring break trip altogether? So spring break part 2.
Chris, have you eaten this evening yet? Oh.
Does that help?
Yes,
it's
I'm
very
eating
costly.
full
And then
90.
you don't- and so if you're putting together a
Liquid
ground
dinner?
package, you
Okay.
can add hotel into that, and your cost per person gets to be not out of control. Depends on what kind of level of hotel comfort people want. So the problem when you put together bus trips, as someone who's done a lot of them, is that if you're not doing a day trip and you're doing an overnight, you have to sometimes create different levels of accommodation for people. Because some people don't want to stay at a Comfort Inn. Some people are okay with it, as I found out, because then if you don't have multiple packages, then it's hard to get families to go. It becomes more difficult. I'm pro always. Let's give it a shot. Yeah. Correct. It's not that it's impossible, it just requires a lot of planning.
Because I know, I mean, even support, like in a coming up, we have about 40 people going, and I say that was
About 40 people going to Atlanta
that's not bad. So I would think
from Indy.
get a bus and organize things correctly. Like, who knows? I mean, look
I would agree. And someone who I put together that bus trip and it took a lot of work. So, and I said, I'm open to it. Let's talk about the games we want to target and let's build that. So I like Derek's suggestion there. So, hi, Jamie. It's good talking to you. Raise your hand if you want a beer. Jamie's here to help.
Uh-oh.
Anybody? Oh,
Beer call.
shoot.
Looks like 4.
Those are good decisions. Those are good decisions.
BEERUN.
We all do like
Jamie's
Jamie.
Beer Run.
Jamie from Flat 12 getting a serious beer
Sorry,
run.
Patrick, go ahead.
Remember, make sure you follow them at Flat 12 Beer Works. That's BIERWERKS Beer Works.
We talked that. I said there wasn't enough interest for us to put together a total bus trip. I said, but I think year 2 is going to look different than year 1. I think we have a lot of folks that are probably willing to make that trip now versus they wouldn't have a year ago. Because I think they understand a little bit more about the culture we're trying to get accomplished. So I'm not against or adverse putting together bus trips in any way, shape, or form. They're just costly. So I do a lot of them for U.S. soccer because I'm a U.S. soccer supporter as well. So. Eric, you want to go watch the Cosmos? No. Can't. Eric doesn't want to go. So there you go. They destroyed the league once. They can't do it twice. So they could. So raise your hands for beers. Thank Jamie from Flat 12. Good. Okay. Say that again. Own company. Tom, when's Open Cup getting announced? That's another month away, is it not? In the next month, we'll find that out. So, D4 is March, May 19th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Flat 12's trying to butter me up. They just keep bringing beer. They think I'm going to talk nice about them. And I will.
Yeah, I was going to say, we already talked about him.
Early June.
Shout out
Big
to
ups to Rob.
Rob
from
Always
Quizzo,
Wednesday.
right, and Sean, both of you guys.
So, any questions from social media I need to address currently?
There was a question about away games and watch
Yes.
parties. Away games and watch parties, but I think Peter might tackle that.
We're working on the away game piece. Watch parties we're working on with Flat 12 and Indy 11 as we speak for the away games. That's what we're working on currently. But I want to give it over to Peter Evans to talk about all things we're working on from a game day operations standpoint. So my man Peter, go ahead.
The man with the sweetest stash. And I don't mean like Malort Swedish.
I'm just
I mean
That was
the
the
sweetest.
most condescending applause I think I've ever had.
This guy
we
is-
are in a small theater, so we probably all should have snapped our fingers
Oh yeah.
when you went
Yeah,
through.
that's-
Almost like there we go.
All right, for game day operations, what we have this year is we don't have the same TIFO location we
he's
had
getting
last
sleeves
year,
up.
so
He's
we're
getting
currently
serious.
dealing
He's
with
serious. Look at that.
how
Showing
to
those
figure
tats.
out.
Oh wait, no tats.
Are you talking about John Cena? Is that what it is?
Nope.
No wrestling.
You wish.
No, I really don't.
Peter Evans, a big John Cena fan.
But okay, so
Hustle, loyalty, and respect is what tattoo right here.
yeah, right there. So we don't have the same TIFO location we had last year, and that is due to the fact that Blackacre is currently renovating their facilities so that way they can put together a larger brewery. So because of that, we don't currently have a TIFO location. We have a couple short-term options. Right now, we're working with the front office. There might be a
Blackacre.
location in
Shout out to
Broadwell,
Holly and Justin.
but,
I know it's not a positive right now, but
I
still.
don't really like talking about things
the-
until they actually happen.
The other two guys
So,
from Blackacre were just on
Yeah. So,
friend of the show, Dave
for game day
Plow from
operations,
Bastard
we
Gentleman
really
has his own
focused
podcast
on
called Is It
building
Legal?
massive
And they were
process.
on
Last year
his
for just
podcast, so go check that
first
out.
games
That's awesome.
display, I think that took
Ding.
somewhere in the area of 2.5 to 3 weeks to actually paint all of that and trace all of that, along with the fact that I would like to say probably 48 hours actually of people in the warehouse painting, probably getting some weird disease from whatever asbestos was in the walls. But so that we will need people this year more so for chant cards being handed out, which will be taken care of prior to matches like it was last year. We also do have, in the game programs, we'll have the standby chants that we use every single match. That'll be in there along with just anything random that we can come up with. We have the flexibility that if we get it enough time, we can add something that may be more team specific. Like, for example, if you play San Antonio and we want to talk about how Billy Forbes is a complete piece of shit, we can do that.
Yay!
So that's the kind of flexibility we have this year. As for other game day operation stuff, I know that what we're doing for the second display of the year, we're going to need a lot of volunteers at about field level. So if people are interested in helping out with coming in early to put up banners or helping to paint these displays, that would be a big help. That being said, about a team of 8 people can get by doing just one display, but the more people we have, the quicker we get things done, which means that we can do more elaborate displays down the line. When we get a warehouse of some sort that we can utilize where we can do the full 54 by 84 foot displays, we'll hopefully start putting out stuff to the quality of what you're seeing in Cascadia. But until then, I think we have to just focus on doing what we do, not trying to mimic anyone, and kind of just be ourselves, I guess, more or less. Does anyone have any questions or anything? Because game day operations is kind of a weird thing to talk about, I guess, because there's just a lot of weird stuff that goes into it. My goal this year is to be in the capo stand every single minute of the year. Last year I took, I think, 2 halves off. The first half I took off just because I wanted to let the other capos run it, and I was told by the people standing around me that I was not permitted to be in the stand anymore because I was turning into a stage mom.
Yeah.
And I was just yelling around, like yelling, not on time or anything, about how I was pissed off about what the capos were doing, or how they weren't indicating hand signals to the warheads to switch chants over properly. So that, and then the only other time was because I found out the hard way you can actually strain your diaphragm. And I have never had a more painful meal than the meal I had after that match. That hurt really bad. But what?
There was a lot of glass.
There was a lot of glass and a lot of blood, but you know, whatever. Any other questions? So what that is that's a red card regiment, and we have a situation where, if you're familiar with how things worked out in Seattle, Seattle actually has the Sound Wave, which is a full-time band where the directors of that band actually are paid a salary because they're a 501c3 nonprofit. And originally they were put next to ECS and Gorilla FC, and the problem that arose from that was the band was trying to play something while the supporters were trying to sing something else. It didn't work. People got mad, and there were borderline fistfights. So what happened is that the Sounders relocated them to the other side of the stadium, which was probably the best call for everyone involved. There's still animosity, which is what we were trying to avoid initially, which is why red card sits on the other side of the stadium from us. But in the 19th minute, since we sing Back Home Again in Indiana, and that's a hard tune to sing without musical accompaniment, we bring them over to help us with it. Now, that being said, they have a fight song that they've written for Indy 11 that is catchy and works, so we allow them to play that afterward. There was one game where their band director was not there, and the band probably got to the border of overstaying their welcome.
Uh-oh.
I wouldn't say they did, but they were definitely at the crest of it. And,
He just did.
So that's kind of
He just said it.
maybe the game you were thinking about. That was definitely the game I referred to as the drunk mess. It was the one that was delayed like 2.5, 3 hours. Everyone was drunk, throwing shit in the field.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want to deal with.
No,
The
not
next
that
day,
part.
having to deal with
Not
the
that
front
part.
office
Not
about
that part.
He was the only child left in the stand at 11 o'clock at night. I'm in.
That's called your dad rules. But
That's all. I was ready to go home, and he said, "No, I'm gonna stay."
Yeah.
That means
I like that.
dad rules. We got a online.
okay, wait.
and this-
Who is it from? Because if it's from the north
No,
side,
it's a
chapter-
go. It's not.
Okay.
This is legitimate. This can go to either you or to Josh. Any support redirection.
Supporter.
Supporter. Oh,
Supporter restrictions.
Right. What? Oh my gosh.
It's right up here.
No.
Change.
Oh,
Any
we
supporter
changed it.
restrictions and
Yeah.
rules, because we don't obviously want the Bricyard
Sanctioned,
sign to be
right.
sanctioned by the.
We could. Okay, so there was literally 2 tweets and they said completely 2 different things. So, all right. So, yeah, so any supporter restrictions.
Let's do it this way. Read the first one and then read the second one.
All right, I will. So the first one, any support redirections and rules don't want the BYB to get sanctioned by NASL. Edit. Any supporter restrictions and rules? There you go. The second one makes sense.
So here's the thing. Restrictions, we're not 1906. We're not, we're not Atlanta. We're not,
You mean
we're
can't
not
fight
the other
anything?
places
No, that's a
that
great
have
question.
that have gotten sanctions by some ways or means. And luckily we're in the NASL, not MLS, where, you know, the horrible scourge of streamers will get us banned from having anything for 4 games. But did they actually understand that? Good.
Or how about smoke flares? Can we get banned for those?
But so basically the thing is in the supporter section, the only thing really type of restrictions is don't throw anything on the field. That includes streamers. If you have streamers, which we may or may not utilize this year for a display, if we utilize that, streamers will have to be thrown upward, not outward. That being said, if they end up on the field, it'll be pre-game, so it's not going to matter. It can be cleaned up and taken care of. If something's thrown on the field during the game, it doesn't matter if it's something provided by us or not. If it's on the field during the game and you're interrupting what's going on the field, 1, you're a dick. 2, it's not permitted and you'll probably get removed. And that.
Remember the combos are facing the crowd, so we can see when you're doing your stupid shit.
Yeah, and the thing is like we want everyone to have a good time and we want to create an environment that, you know, people love. Now, that being said, you know, you can't, there's obvious rules that any peaceful society has to exist by, and one of those being don't throw anything on the field, period. So
I wouldn't worry about that happening. The only NASL sanctions that have come down for Atlanta last year after they basically rioted after losing.
no, it wasn't they rioted. It was the fact that they were throwing flares underneath a van that was running, carrying supporters of the other team and throwing rocks at those people.
So that sounds like a riot. Yeah.
So basically, don't be a dick.
But I mean,
Yeah, really.
That was very extreme. Never only it was like a 3-game ban, 4 games.
It was
Hashtag
a
don't be a
3-game
dick.
ban. They had 4 home games. We showed up the 4th home game, and they were pretty decent humans.
But so I'm saying realistically, we don't want stuff thrown on the field. Throwing those streamers in the field's not going to come down for sanctions. We're not. This is.
No, that being said, if one person throws a streamer on the field, like obviously we're gonna talk to you. We have people that are not security that are involved in the supporter section that'll be like, don't ever do that again, whatever, like it's done. If multiple people throw it, like at that point, we're just gonna have to be like, okay, this entire area, you're just gone. Like, sorry, we can't do anything about this. Because the fact of the matter is, I think people think that capos have control over the section, which just isn't true. We have, I guess, the illusion that we're in control of an insane asylum, like that we're in control of a mob. And the fact of the matter is, one person does something stupid, and a bunch of people follow suit, that's when we get in trouble. It's kind of more of, if you're in that section, you're part of a collective body of people doing something, but you're still responsible for your individual actions. If you try to punch out somebody in the supporter section, that's on you. That's not, oh, I was in the moment. That's not a thing. And being drunk isn't an excuse ever for anything. But
So handle your alcohol and
that being
hashtag
said,
don't be a dick.
the other thing is just
Exactly.
more or less refrain from homophobic, misogynistic,
Right.
racist, over otherwise hateful rhetoric in the stand. You'll probably be
Hashtag
okay.
Pits.
I mean, the thing is like,
Hashtag
honestly, if
pants.
somebody says something hateful or homophobic, we have ways of dealing with that. So any chant that gets started, in
We
that
have
way
the right
is covered
to
up.
refuse to serve
But,
them.
I mean, more or less, Slaughterhouse is pretty good at policing the section if we really need to. So hopefully it never comes to that.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that's about it. Is there any more questions?
I just wanted to make a statement from the aspect of parents who want to stay here. We did a great job last year. I mean, really policing ourselves as far as you're going to have that guy in every section.
Yeah.
I took him to a pre-game last year, and we have fun with her and have a good time. Granted, there's not 800 TV timeouts and all this other stuff, but we as a section do a great job of policing. I've heard from other people that sat in our section just for the first time or what have you, we're all, it's good time, it's a lot more fun sitting in the stands, because most people are boring. We like being in the end where there's more atmosphere. So I think from that standpoint, we've done a great job of policing ourselves.
Yeah,
We just need to keep doing what we're doing.
the nice thing we have is we have a security, like a group of security that are the same people every single match. And the nice thing about that is that they trust the people that are, leaders in the section that are running it. So if something goes wrong, they come to us first. They don't just pull the person out, which has spared a decent amount of people from getting thrown out immediately. But there are circumstances where, somebody's really drunk.
It falls over the stands. I mean, it happens.
Yeah.
It just happens.
No one saw that happen, I guess, except for me. Like, I was.
In a
everybody,
camera.
and everybody
in a TV
watching
camera.
on TV.
Yeah.
Everybody on TV.
No, seriously. I distinctly remember when that happened. The guy fell over the front of the stand.
Yep.
I turned and looked, saw it, tried to get people's attention to like, oh my God, like a guy just fell over the stand. No one cared what I was saying.
Dude, Christian cared.
Listen,
The only person who cared was Christian. He went over
Yeah.
to try to see if he was okay.
and the guy's like, I just wanted your autograph. Christian's like, no.
I don't know.
But
Ask Billy Forbes.
That's Billy.
we're kind of getting back on track. Is
Sorry.
there any questions? Because I know we have a lot of stuff to go over, and I feel like I've eaten up more than enough time.
I think every board member should announce their favorite player before they do speeches to the rest of the
Oh, geez. Wow.
Why would we need to pick favorites?
Oh,
Why
yeah.
can't
Good
we like the ones on
answer.
the field?
Good answer.
I don't know if you know this. This is a
Hashtag
game of
owned.
11 people acting as one cohesive being.
Hashtag
trying to
no
control,
favorites.
Not individuals. I mean, if you like that, you can watch the NBA. But yeah.
Peter, are you running?
Look,
Hold on.
Are you
I
ready?
got this,
Are you
Mark.
running for governor?
Are you running in 2016?
By the state constitution, I can't run for governor. By the Constitution of the United States, I can't run for president. Probably should run for city county council to get some clout first, but
We'll get John Cena on this immediately.
I was born in Crown Point, Indiana, so I'm good to go. But
He's a region rat.
yeah, eat your ass rule. They get shit done.
All right.
Josh Mason.
Josh Mason's trying to wrap it up.
Wrap it up,
Couple quick
B-Box.
things related to the game day stuff too. So this year we actually had to get a storage pod that will be keeping in the stadium, so Peter and the team have a better place to put things. So they don't have to haul things over God's green earth. Roughly the expense about $115 a month, but we think it's worth the investment to make your guys' lives a little bit easier from a game day standpoint. We are having our upcoming with ESG, our the security team, as well as IPY and the excise police, to make sure we're all aligned for the season, to make sure there's no issues that we have to oversee or worry about. To Peter's point, we've done a really good job of policing our section ourselves. I've very rarely seen people get totally out of hand, but it does happen. And I think it requires all of you to have some ownership in that too. So it's not just the capos or the people that are leading the section that evening or the leadership board. It's really all of us need to make sure we're all accountable. And to Peter's point, no misogynistic or homosexual or otherwise negative remarks will ever be taken. They'll all be taken seriously in our section. To the point where Peter and I both had to one evening when the shoot him like a horse chant came up, we had someone from PETA there who let me know that they were unappreciative of the fact we're trying to shoot him like a horse. So it's happened.
Yeah.
So these are things that truly do happen.
This
So,
is a true story. We're not going down that path.
turn them into glue is not a good chant. So
Oh, that is a good chant.
I'm just
Turn
letting,
them into
I'm just
glue.
letting you know
Turn
these are
them
things that
into
we do
glue.
have to answer, and we get emails and questions about. So,
Elmer.
it's just the things that we do truly have to manage. Mr. Knoll. Huh? Mr. Eric. I was going to say, look, come up, talk smoke.
Oh, talk
So Eric Knoll is the keeper of the smoke, as we call him.
Is
So
it 420?
he talked a little about how we do that, what the process is behind it,
Asphalt
and
anymore.
expenditure
Legalize it.
abundant. It's abundant.
No, yeah, that's about as close to legalizing as gay. Oh no, wait, I did.
Well, as most of you know, we had the smoke last year. This year, we've got bigger, better smoke that we keep under control that we've ordered previously. We have some left over from last year. I think we spent. Do you remember we spent $1,000, $500? I think we spent $500 on smoke last year. We still have about $150 worth left. We made bigger orders this year, so we'll have more to do that, and we switched to the cold burning pull tab stuff, so that's more safe and there's
This is
no,
called science.
issues for anyone. And we're just hoping that we keep that
Those
under control.
fighting
We do
words,
it so
Troy.
the authorized people are allowed to use it, so because we are given the gift of being able to use it, and we don't want that to be taken away. So it's just one of those things you got to do responsibly.
Well,
and
he ain't
everyone
talking
kinda
about me
benefits from it.
because no.
I
No.
don't think anyone had an issue with that last year. I can't speak for everyone. I think maybe some people did. I don't know. I think it's part of the experience. I think everyone seems to like it. So I guess that's really it.
Make some killer pictures.
Yeah,
that's for
it
sure.
makes great visuals for sure.
Peter Evans again.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Then that's really it. Justin is the one who has all the financials on it. I think we made an order for $1,500 worth for this year, and we're projected that should last at least for the whole year, if not have some left over. We're going to try and, with the new stuff that we got, we get more bang for our buck, and we can move through less units and get more out of them. And
Hopefully a lot of goals. That means we have to buy some
yeah,
more.
that's another thing too. I mean, hopefully we score a lot. We get to go, rush through them.
Yeah.
That's hopefully we get some help up front, and that helps. And that's really it. I mean, that's kind of a financial thing, and I think the projections are right. They're already ordered, so I hope they're right. Worst case scenario, we have them for next year still, and if we have to order more, I think that's kind of a blessing in disguise, because that means that we're scoring goals and maybe winning. So
Sweet.
that's it.
All right.
Yeah,
Cool.
right.
Yeah.
Good smoke there. So good talking smoke.
Hashtag
Like a
smoke.
couple quick things really quick, and then a couple of things. So Peter, again, it's all things game day. If you guys have chance submissions too, ideas for chance, we certainly can. Peter can take those as well. We're always looking for good ideas. My apologies to Lou if you're watching. Lou, sorry you had to take a Chicago Fire chant. That was pretty funny from our social media conversation. So a couple of quick things in regards to affiliate groups. How convenient that my friend Nancy walks in. So I want Nancy. Do you want to talk? You want to talk? Talk Warheads? Want to talk Warheads or no?
Get on the mic, Nancy.
Talk to Mike, Nancy. Warheads. All things that you do and all things that you need. All things you support you need. I will speak. We have to, Nancy. You have to speak. So I can say for a fact that Nancy always needs support and additional place to play the drums. If you have if you're not rhythmically challenged and want to give something to game days, find Warheads on Facebook or find Nancy Brown here. Nancy would be happy to take additional players. Nancy, please come talk. We love you.
Yay! Go, Nancy.
What am I talking about again? Well, we had a audition tryout thing. What was that? A week ago, 2 weeks ago, which went pretty well. We had one new guy. We have another promise of one or two more new guys, which sounds great.
We got new guys.
Which means we probably have enough guys to handle at least what we need for every game, if not some substitutions, maybe some. We have one guy who was promised for the whole first season. I'm kind of rambling because I'm not really.
That's
I
okay.
didn't really prepare anything.
It's all right.
So.
That's what happens when you put people on the spot, Mason.
Yeah, thanks, Mason. But yeah, I'm working on some more chants, some more stuff like that. Should have a couple of stands coming into my house tomorrow.
Yes.
So thank you from my back to everybody. And possibly it might help. Maybe this is not even something that I've even brought up to Peter, but I know that we've had some guys that, some folks that have left town. Maybe it might help if I'm in front of the drum line, and maybe we have enough guys in the drum line that I can be in front and kind of being that guy in the middle. That might be something that could be helpful. No, I didn't think so either. Anyway, the only other thing that we have a couple other expenses coming up, and that's the other 3 stands, 2 bass drum stands, 1 other snare stand, which hopefully we'll get before the end of the spring season, which will be great. That would be $400, another less than $1,000 coming up before the end of the spring season. And then some heads maybe, hopefully, pretty soon actually.
All the
Probably
head.
Before the stands, actually. We need those.
Is there a thing as too much head?
But that will be less than
Heads. Hey, speaking of heads,
$100
I got a signed Alien Ant Farm head. The last
those
time I
are
went to the
our
Vogue,
expenses.
became and
Other things
played
going
out their
on.
new
Any
album,
other
which I
questions
launched,
about
which is okay.
warheads? Anybody have any
But
interest?
signed
Any,
head. Sweet. Hashtag BYB cast.
Hey, sock. Hey.
All right.
All right.
Yay, Nancy! All right, Nancy.
I do love Nancy. So nice thing is we do have partial drum stands, right? The rest of them funded, but you can see why.
Is there a watermark in there that you're trying to look at? Like a bit, like a.
Other
This
funding
is
will be really, really
legit.
important this
This
year,
thing
so
right
continue
here.
stuff.
This piece of paper is legit.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye, Flag 12.
Last, thanks to Jamie and Val. Val taking off too.
Bye, Felicia.
I'll talk to you. Are you going?
Yes, Chris.
Last couple of things before we wrap up for the evening. Again, Red Car Regiment, as we talked about, Red Car Regiment is the band, so you understand that relationship. We're trying to find ways to support them as well for the BYB. We're trying to find those solutions with the team.
We got a couple things to say.
And
Yeah, we do.
website revamps, already talked about. Retail opportunities, we need to know from you guys.
Did you
As many
skip
retail opportunities as we possibly
Son of a
can.
bitch.
And yeah, I'm purposely skipping you guys.
I hate you.
So,
It's gonna be, it'll be real quick.
so I do want to give the floor really quick to our friends from the Permanent Relegation Podcast, so they can speak to you about what they're trying to work on and professionalize for this coming year, and also too about listenership. I think some people are really surprised to hear about some of these numbers. So guys,
Oh, yeah. I get the beats.
Oh
I
man,
get
this
the
is
beats.
bad. What the hell is going on over here? All right.
All right, welcome to the real show. That was a warm up,
All right.
kind of like prenup.
So first, we just want to say thank you for all the support from everybody from the BYB. This is great. This
What's
is
up, guys?
really,
How you doing?
This is really weird. This is weird. So I know, right? Exactly.
This
you
looks
guys,
a
you
lot-
guys have been
oh.
amazing.
All right, now
from
you guys
the
gotta
fans,
tweet us.
From the BYB.
You guys-
your support.
yeah, actually, now
Okay,
would
so
be
you
a
got to
good
let them
time. Like, I
listen.
guess we're
You can't talk the entire time.
How do you work your laptop?
Yeah.
It's obvious. We're fine. I obviously know what this is.
He gets this. I don't get technology.
This could be like wrestling talk over here in our show. So, so some of the new things for this year, obviously we were able to get our domain back. It had been gone for a little while. Got that back. New website. We're keeping up with current content. Looking to add new things. On top of that, this year's got a lot of new important endeavors for us that we've already done, and Andy has been chomping at the bit to talk. So I'm just gonna.
I think these guys are pretty weird.
So yeah,
I've
wow,
seen
this
better
is really low.
people talking about things.
They're beautiful. Both of them are great people.
So
who do
yeah,
a lot for a community.
hang on just a second,
Andrew, I need my
gentlemen,
beer.
at the podcast.
Reds.
Anyway, so obviously I had a talk with Colluder the other day at the preseason game. One of the things that he kind of really wants is anybody who is good at blogging or getting news stories out. Obviously, the Indy Star is taking a crap on the Indy 11 lately.
I'm really good at doing podcasts. I'll take your job.
Hey,
Dude,
I'm speaking the truth.
Stick away from the.
They're my own. They're the opinions of the Permanent Relegation Podcast. Because Chris feels the same way.
Does anyone want to listen to the opinions of the permanent relegation?
No, it's okay. We have children in the room. But John definitely wants. If you know any bloggers, anybody who's good, I don't know, Tom. Is there? Okay, yes. Good. Anybody who's good bloggers that want to get a little bit more of the word out. That's kind of one of the things that they were talking about. Obviously, we're going to do our best.
everybody at the Indy 11 staff and front office has been really good to us in terms of getting
Feel free to tweet
guests.
questions, please, gentlemen.
The episode with Peter last Tuesday was
We'll
really
answer
awesome. If you hadn't had a chance to listen to it, or Monday, sorry. Huh?
We're gonna tweet at you guys.
Yes, Peter with his recipes, and then the only thing in terms of financials is our SoundCloud is probably going to be coming up soon, and obviously that feeds to all of the iTunes and everything like that. So we're going to just ask for a year renewal for that too. So
one of the biggest things that we're changing too, which we want to add for content on there, is the addition of video at live events. So we'll be down there. We'll have the live event video. Well, not so much a stream, but we'll have the video. We'll have it up weekly on top of our local show. So this is kind of how it's going to go. Last year, we weren't sure what we had, and so it was a little unstructured, a little long-winded. This year, we're keeping it right about an hour every show. Every other week, we want to thank Fisher's Chatham and just Chatham Tap in general. These guys are absolutely amazing. If you see the legendary creature known as Beardy McChatham over here.
Hey, Beardy McChatham.
Also
What a
known as
beautiful
Mark.
beard.
Absolutely amazing guy. Tell him thank you. If you've ever been to Fisher's Chatham, that place is on point and is Chatham in general, best soccer bars there are. I'm not taking anything away from any others. Yeah, Union Jacks as well. We get
I have
this.
my own
But for our sake,
Chatham.
I know.
Fisher's
I'm
definitely
sorry.
does a
Okay,
great
so
thing letting these guys,
the point is,
talk every week. I don't know
that
who else
show
would like to
now.
talk every week.
Oh yeah,
Who
we're
would want
putting
to
that,
listen
that
to
content
Jack
out there.
White?
I don't even
You
know
need
where
Jack
it
with
was. Because get off on this
I'm the
tangent.
heel
So no,
here.
at Fisher's, we're gonna be doing every
I'm
other
the
week
face.
at Fisher's
I mean, a
Chatham
quality
Live.
establishment like
So we do have a new
Jack
PA system.
Not
We're working
about
this
that.
out to
Chatham
make
is a
that
beautiful place.
show.
Great pizza. I hear.
This is, I don't even know what's happening over here, and this is probably
Best pizza in
worthless now at
town.
this point.
You go
But
there, you have a
I
good
can't wait till
time.
Derek
Listen
and
to these
Peter
guys
are on the
talk.
show.
I mean, you
And plus, so they can watch back to hear what we had to say about them when they were up here. So they'll probably enjoy that.
Has anybody tweeted us yet?
no one has tweeted any questions
Yeah.
yet. No one cares.
All right, so
about these guys.
every other week we'll be at
Is anybody
Chatham.
watching?
Every
No
other
one's
week,
watching.
so week by week,
Who
we're
would
going
watch
to
it?
have kind of a
I would.
I mean,
local
people
show at
came
the
to watch
studio.
me and
We'll have
turn-
call-ins now, which we didn't have last year. But we'll always have a
I'm
guest
sure.
every other week at Fisher's Chatham. So if you guys can't listen, you happen to be up there, want to grab a beer in a great place, please check it out. We're doing it every Tuesday, every other Tuesday.
Are you guys gonna be there?
I know it's actually going to be Derek and Peter are going to take over the show.
Well, that's a good thing for everyone.
So
I mean, that's how you
listenership is going to go
improve the
way
show,
downhill.
obviously.
Yes, question.
Talking the whole time.
Josh is shaking his head no, which is a really
Yeah, if Josh shakes his head no, that's pretty much, him being in the most.
Hey, there's a
polite
microphone
possible
back here, by the way.
possible.
I know we're loud, but still. I know last year the show was on the back of the chant cards, which was awesome. And there was actual advertisements at the game, before the game and after, as you're walking out, directing people to the podcast. So hopefully we're going to be doing that again too. And real quick, huh? Yes, above. If you go pee, we're actually working on permanent relegation urinal cakes too, so you can go inside and pee on us. Just pee all over us.
Life
And then
goals.
finally, if you guys have any ideas for guests, especially now that we have call-in capabilities, make sure to get a hold of us. Obviously, we're big time on Twitter. So if you
Big
guys
time
have
on
any
Twitter.
ideas or contact information for guests,
Hey,
because we have the
We've
call-in
been told
ability
that
now.
We're supposed to get away from the podcast
Okay.
mics by Matt. We're not going to do that.
I'm like Brian McBride.
You just stop watching, sir.
And Alexi Lawless. We could probably get Alexi Lawless too.
I mean, we don't do anything ever, but
Oh no, I didn't. All right, cool. Josh Mason, everybody.
dear God.
So we do have a PA system where we get donated.
the end of
With
here's
each
the end of the
affiliate
good
group that we work
podcast.
with, we're trying to find ways to give to each individual group the best we can. It's just difficult, as you imagine, dollars and cents. I didn't start a Kickstarter for all this stuff before I knew we were going to have a team, so we weren't able to do that. So In conclusion,
All right,
for
well.
the evening, obviously this whole video is going to be streamed live, the good and the bad and the ugly, if you will. The permanent relocation YouTube sites. If you want to watch this whole thing go down again, you're welcome to do so. As I'm sure other supporters groups will probably tune in to laugh at us, which is fine.
Excellent.
Last couple of things. Any questions for those of you who have not worked with us before in the room?
We
just
want
know
to
that's
We want to
apologize
make
for
sure
the
we can
people.
get you guys more
Obviously, even on
engaged.
Twitter,
So we need bodies to come do
that
kinds of things. and really
you guys
help us
have
with day-to-day
really.
operations and
Hopefully, you haven't
ideas or
dropped off
chance
because of.
working more
I don't
heads.
even know what
Oh my
happened
God.
The more
there.
bodies we can get
I knew
overall,
one of
the
us
better
should've
we're gonna
One of us
do.
should have stayed.
That's what we need
It was
help with.
bad.
So,
All right.
Who abandons the post?
so what? Sherpas? Sherpas. Shirtless Sherpas?
Shirtless Sherpas. Andrew has actually volunteered for
Bring up one
shirtless
business
Sherpa.
This evening, 'cause Peter will get mad if I don't. Is that, our current president, Derek Ritchie, had just resigned this past week. In regards to his commitments to being from Bloomington, for one, I want to thank him for his contribution overall to the team and to the organization for as long as he has. But that leaves a vacated position in regards to the presidency currently, so we're looking to find that leadership group to get fixed as we speak.
Mason.
We're working on that as Peter. Full recognizes Peter Evans. In the interim,
All those in favor.
So Josh, you're running in 2015, right?
I'm running out of options, it looks like.
Frank
So-
Underwood, you're just
So
absolutely.
I will say this, I told Peter the same thing as a
Josh Mason,
my
aka
friend
Frank
Patrick over
Underwood.
here. I'm a guy with 4 kids who loves this team and loves these people in this room just as much. So I will gladly accept in the interim based on it. So
Josh's wife is
and
not
take it to a
going to
vote.
Yes.
So
Yes.
all those to the board.
Yes.
So it's Derek. Andrew,
Cheers, everybody! Cheers.
Peter, formal vote.
We're on the board
Is there a
too.
formal vote?
Yeah,
So-
we are on the board, and we vote. We're on the board.
Oh, yeah. Also want to mention that this motion passed earlier today. Mr. Andrew Retz is now on the board, filling the seat of Mr. Derek Ritchie. So that's a long time coming. So those who don't know Andrew.
Yes.
Yes. If you've not met Andrew Retz, Andrew is in charge of all things
Sorry, I got
AO
wrapped
Indy.
up in
So Carol Larison before that, and kind of me a little bit before that even. So so can we make a formal vote? Those are the board members vote. All's in favor? Uno, dos, tres, cuatro,
I'm on the board.
me. So,
We are.
Yeah, so those are board members.
We're on the
Motion
board.
Passes. So
We're on the board.
In
I'm on the
the interim,
board.
in the interim, I'm making decisions on your half from the interim. So no.
We're
you're
the
good.
media.
You're
We're
good.
media directors.
So yes,
We're public relations.
it does pass. So from
PR.
So we have to
Public relations.
Well,
I
it
am.
looks like there's been a
Thank
coup, and
So this is a while.
Josh Mason now the
And it's
interim.
funny, I said, I
President.
joked
Cheers to
that
Josh
I
Mason.
do have 4 kids and I do have a lot of obligations, as I was saying earlier,
Nobody
before I
else.
got here, my son cut his finger and I was hoping I could still be here, so yeah.
Yeah.
Patrick knows, he's got 4 too. So lastly, I want to say thank you guys for coming out, and those of you that are hungry, Beardy McChatham over there, as we refer to him, Mark was nice enough to go to chat and get everyone pizza.
I'm sorry, Mark. I didn't mean
So pizza and full 90 to end the evening, so thank you, Mark.
Mark is
Beardy
so mad
McChatham
at
is
us.
probably one of
Mark
the
is
better
never going to
nicknames
let us
we've come
back
up
into
with so
Fisher's
far.
Chatham.
Hey, I just want to also say it was nice broadcasting from Fisher's Chatham because we'll probably never get it again.
It's nice broadcasting while you can. My biggest thing is that you hold us accountable, right? So this is a supporters group. If we're not doing the job that we need to do, you need to make sure you're getting contact. with us so we know how to
Beardy
fix it.
McChatham.
We're only as good as the information we get. That's the truth of it. So we make decisions on behalf of a larger group that we need to get your feedback in order to be able to do so. So we'll be doing this again in 3 months to get additional feedback, and we have to do it every 3 months to keep us accountable so we can show you guys budget, show you how we're spending money, make sure not being idiots with your dollars and cents, because we are representing everyone else. So please, by all means, come to the next meeting. We'll be announcing that in the near future. Probably might be a place like this over at Flat 12. I want to thank the folks from Indy Fringe for hosting us this evening. So thank you guys for hosting. Thanks to Flat 12 for the brew, and thank you, Mark, for the pizza, my friend. So thank you guys at Chatham Tap for doing that for this evening. So with that concluding, thank you for coming.
For all of you here, we necessarily won't be live. We're going to be recording a show directly after here with Josh Mason. We're going to cover all things about the stadium.
We might
the
actually keep
events
it
at the end of the
live.
day.
We might actually keep it live, and then what
Yeah.
we'll do is
Just kind of mill about.
for those who are wanting to download the MP3 later or who have listening to the MP3, welcome to the Permanent Relegation Podcast, because this is going to be at the beginning instead of
Yes.
at the end.
Yeah, welcome, guys, and we'll have a show here.
I know, I already did.
So good.
Thanks to Peter Evans for the
Yes,
who is
Derek
the heel
Droger.
face? Oh, you're the heel. You're the heel. We'll do a wrestling show coming up with Peter Evans and whoever else he wants to bring with it. So, Hey, Josh. I know
the president. We're gonna have the president. We'll have the official on the show. So as we're here, we'll kind of mill about here for a bit. We're gonna take a quick break and come out.
Peter wants to sit in.
Have a quick break. Throw these away.
So no one's talking. You're just trying to fill space with. But thanks for everyone who was listening tonight. Sorry you had to put up with me for a decent amount of the evening. I'm sure I'm an intolerable thing to listen to most of the time.
We actually called you an emaciated lumberjack.
Ooh, I like that. Except
1992.
The fun factoid about me, I actually weigh 135 pounds, which is the most I've ever weighed in my entire life.
You're fat, Peter.
It's because I'm almost 28, so now like my metabolism has died.
You did say you had a luscious, amazing stash.
I look fabulous all of the time. Yeah, but thanks everyone for listening. We're gonna have Josh Mason on, I guess, in a second here. But we're looking forward to a really good year. We're gonna have a lot of great things coming up, and especially from the TIFO game day operations. I think if you like, as unfortunately Thomas, who's currently in frame, what's to word it as banter, we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna make fun of everyone else in the league because, well, if you're not wearing victory over your heart, then who really cares?
Still live.
But yeah, it's so everyone be just excited about this year. We've gotten through the stadium stuff somewhat, so we can just kind of focus on what's going on in the field. And I've been to every friendly thus far, and it's there's hope that we're going to be better than we were last year for sure. So
yeah, absolutely.
And then of course you have Andrew Retz here, who runs AO Indy, sitting in now.
Yeah, USA.
Of course, USA.
That's what I have
what
to
else?
say.
You're
USA.
just gonna say USA.
Hey, there's a game tomorrow at the Union Jack. Kickoff at 3 p.m.
It's a quality establishment. If you happen to like wrestling, you should talk to Jay Wetzel, the owner and proprietor of Union Jack. He is a huge wrestling fan. One of the biggest marks I know. But
what do you have to say about this braided jet? Former employee of Indy 11.
What specifically would you like to hear my opinion on?
We just hijacked your podcast. Is what's going on here.
Yeah, is it still on?
But yeah, Brandon, sit down. Let's talk about the Columbus Crew and how they're doing thus far.
Thus far, they were unlucky to lose to Houston in their their season opener. Tyler Derrick stood on his head, and I think it was Sarkodie finished the one shot they had. Houston's going to get relegated this year, even though it's not really possible in MLS.
Come hell or high water, they'll find a way.
And then they beat Toronto FC, Andrew's favorite club, 2-0 last weekend. And I would say game was pretty even up until halftime, and then TFC had a guy sent off, and Crew did exactly what I would hope they would do. They just picked them apart in the second half and didn't take their foot off the gas.
That was not a red card, in my opinion.
I will not disagree with you there.
You guys know that both your teams are completely irrelevant, right?
The Fire haven't scored a goal, have they?
You're also getting relegated.
It doesn't matter. None of this matters.
You're getting relegated.
I want you guys to remember that time is just a human construct, and none of this matters. We're just waiting. Every breath is just a clock slowly counting down till the day we die.
Till when?
Till the day we die.
Oh, well. That's just like your opinion, man.
I mean, that's just like what Fire fans think constantly, because reality is that existence is a torturous
I would like everybody to know that this is not condoned or supported by anything that the permanent relegation is doing. We have no idea who these hijackers are, but enjoy anyways because it's fun banter.
This is supported by AO Indy, though, so it's fine.
It's also supported by Slaughterhouse 19.
And by Massive 317.
And by Afghanistan Casuals. LLC. Oh, LLC. They withdrew their sponsorship of this
Derek
fine
Droger's in, though, so it's fine.
Derek Droger, King Row of Indianapolis.
15 years.
Yeah.
He's gonna be that guy for the better part of the decade.
No. He's going to graduate, and then he's going to become Dolph Ziggler. I can see him being Dolph Ziggler. He is Dolph Ziggler.
Since we're talking MLS,
The MLS.
no,
For John Kaluder is listening.
just MLS for John Kaluder. Hauptmann, when was the last time the Fire made the playoffs under him?
Honestly, he is one of the most incompetent people I think in the league, period. And the fact that just the management from top to bottom with the Fire seems to be a shit show. And the thing is that although I know the human being, and I feel a bit biased just saying this, the Fire have not been the same since one left, and I don't think they're going to improve.
I mean, I say this as somebody who's despised the Fire for the longest time, and the Crew probably still don't even have that great of a record over the last few years against the Fire. But, 2008 came to the Eastern Conference Finals, Crew advanced. I don't feel like the Fire have been the same since then. Like, they're not necessarily a team I fear.
I don't think anyone should fear them because
they play
that would,
halfway to Iowa.
don't be a dick.
I mean,
Also, it's on the southwest side of the city, so you would say halfway to I don't know, Springfield.
True story. I once interviewed for a company that was a mile away from Toyota Park.
Oh my God, was that an ALSLIP or A-slip or however it's pronounced?
It was a water distribution company.
Naturally.
Oh, we need to go.
Now we're really making
thank you everyone for listening to our dumb banter. But
Who was just actually talking right now?
oh, they know who we are.
Peter
I'm
Evans,
infamous.
Andrew Retz, Brandon Jett.
AKA Brunson.
Branson, too.
Where'd he go? Oh, there he is.
Just let us go. You do never make me up, please.
Right?
April what?
End of April. What? Okay, May.
I heard Twitter wants us to take it.
What? No. Yeah, we'll live broadcast WrestleMania.
Not gonna ever happen.
No, I'm not saying it is a bad thing. It is. Well,
It is
no,
a bad thing.
except WrestleMania this year is going to be awful.
Oh my God, but the Undertaker's totally coming back.
It's going to be awful.
And he's going to face
See?
Wyatt, Great Wyatt. Yeah.
No, actually, hang on real quick. I could dive on the ground real fast and I can imitate Neymar.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. What just happened? Hey.
Josh Mason is here.
They don't
everybody.
want to see us.
Yeah, let's give Josh Mason.
Sorry.
There you go. You should talk like that the
I
entire
conduct
time.
this interview just like this.
Hey, Rivers Como is here, everybody.
Yes, as we
stated before.
As we said multiple times.
If you want to destroy my sweater.
All right. Okay. Anyway,
I don't even know the train wreck that was just on here before.
Yeah.
No, it's funny. I was just talking to Eric Knoll about this. So this is just your more formal, not less formal board meeting. This is a meeting in which we're all conducted, in which we're just having general discussions regarding the entire BYB. The idea is that we'll be sitting down as an entire BYB leadership in the near future and having a full-on board meeting. So this is just more for the public information.
So, Mr. President.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. President.
We'll see how I
That's
feel about
weird,
that.
isn't
No,
it?
it's beyond weird, and I say this because I said I made a commitment to my wife.
Your wife is going to kill you.
She's
dude.
absolutely going to kill me.
She's
And here's the thing: is I can lead in a way that I don't have to be at everything under God's green earth. You guys know I find a way to come to stuff anyway.
Absolutely.
But I'm happy to do it in the interim until someone else can do it. So
I would like somebody to stop playing with our material here.
That's a very expensive camera.
It is. That was actually purchased by President Mason.
President Mason.
POTUS Mason.
POTUS Mason.
Ages ago.
Not yet. Not yet. We're still married, Josh Mason.
Still married.
I mean, that
for a
ring is
short period of
solid
time.
right
Well,
now.
we'll see about that.
Right. So we wanted to have you on the show. Now this is a little different. I mean, being that you are the Frank Underwood of.
Dude, I watched that show. I'm sorry, I'm gonna go home and do to watch
So
tonight.
last week,
I'm
when I
halfway
made that-
through the
so
season,
you
the
made
new
the
season.
of the new. So we were like,
It's fake.
wait, what did you just do?
What did you just do? You just unplugged it. Oh, you just killed us all.
Episode-
Okay.
no,
well.
episode 9.
It didn't kill the episode.
We're up to episode 9 now, which is huge because
I just finished the one when she upset Russia. That's where I'm at.
Okay, yeah, okay. So you got a little. All right.
So I'm right in the middle of the.
Okay.
So you haven't fed that far yet. So I just
No,
ruined
we
it.
have-
Okay.
No,
I'll make sure to
no,
ruin
I'm
it for you.
saying
It's
you
a
got some other
great
stuff
show.
about to happen.
Excellent.
So, anyways, so with you here,
There's a girl gonna die in New Mexico. I can tell you that right now.
Uh-oh. So anyways,
Yes.
for those
I saw that coming.
Oh yeah.
for,
I'm not even there yet.
For those
and
listening,
falling off the wagon. Yeah. Anyways.
Figured that was gonna happen too. Shoot it in my mouth with a syringe.
For those
I have issues.
For those listening, we're gonna put this on MP3 form. We're gonna put this before the actual meeting, so people have to kind of go through.
Yeah,
and then do some editing
on there.
You know what though, and for those who are expecting a little bit more formal occasion, and I knew when we added beer to the occasion that it was every time I know I add alcohol to an occasion, you change the experience for folks. And again,
who works in alcohol.
Yeah, someone who works in alcohol. So I knew what we were getting ourselves into. The idea was a little bit of celebration, so people can ask the key questions of us as a group and what we're trying to get accomplished. And then, like I said, it'll take a life of its own. We'll have a more formal board meeting in the coming weeks, and we'll go from there.
And that's fine. And one of the things that I guess I wanted to ask is, what kind of things did you hope to accomplish when you put these kind of things together? Because obviously this is the second time. It's the first time we
had one other meeting. I mean, and it was
yeah.
at the Fountain Square Library, and it wasn't run by me either. I mean,
we had a meeting at Fisher's Chatham.
Oh yeah,
Chris and I hijacked the shit
out of it. That was fun though. Kind of what I want to see moving forward is that I'm a quote unquote business professional, depending how you look at that.
You're amazing, by the way.
Depending how I look at that, business professional. There are air quotes going with that. Yeah. And I want to make sure we're being professionalized, because when we work with people like Flat 12, and we work with these vendors, I want to make sure they feel like they're going to get value out of working with us. So we're working with Wheeler Mission, and we're doing the right things. So if you look at professional supporters groups across the country, I mean, the more professionalized they have, or they are, the more the potential can get accomplished. I just hope for that for us, at least for the interim. I'll get us where we need to be, and then turn it over to somebody else who's younger and has more energy and has, not coaching soccer 3 nights a week. So
with 4 kids.
With 4 kids. So
well, no. So so we have everything coming on, but since you're here,
yeah,
let's
here.
talk. Yes, you are here. That's true, and it's like a magical beast that's here on the show. We do have you once here, so this is the as BYB. This is 3rd time now. It's true. So you joined Peter.
You joined Peter as the only 2 people that have been 3-time guests of the permanent relegation.
Yay! Well, it's because I drink and hang out with you guys. I win by default. Peter has to actually make an effort. I just show up. So
have you ever hung out with Peter?
Yeah. Peter was all 3 at a bar.
That's true. I've diversified.
You diversified your phones, bitches.
That's how I roll.
So, all right. So let's talk today. Today was
Stadium?
a big day. Yes.
Same stuff. And it's funny because we had some really good conversation before you got here. Chris and I did.
Yeah, I probably had the same conversation with him earlier today.
And we won't use a reference that he used in regards to how you would compare it as to what happened today. But here's what Chris and I kind of came up with. And though I will say I'm disappointed in some ways that the Senate didn't see a little more forward thinking in regards to the overall investment that potentially could have for the city of Indianapolis. And I say that because I think it comes from an ignorant place, and ignorant not being a bad thing, right? Ignorant just means uninformed, right? So if this were the Pacers, the Colts, it'd be a non sequitur question. It'd be like, oh, yep, what do they need, right? The CIB, we need to put a bigger screen in the Pacers. Yeah, absolutely, buy a bigger screen, right?
But can you honestly compare those?
You can, only for the simple fact is that if you look at the history of our city, right, being from here. Yep. Downtown sucked before the Colts got here, before we made the investment in downtown, right? So if you think about all the different things, the Hoosier Dome was built before we had the Colts, the thought of the Colts. So there's already investment being made in capital things downtown before we had the finalization of having the Colts in '84. So in some ways, we've set a precedent that that's okay, that we can invest ahead of things, right? Same thing with, think about Market Square, going from the Market Square over to the Conseco Fieldhouse. Granted, the NBA and the NFL are not the NASL. That's not a direct comparison, but the idea is the growth opportunity, right? So
yes,
I think we missed an opportunity from a larger perspective of doing something unique and individualistic and one big, huge stadium. But the Senate, at least I think in some ways, recognized that they have to make an investment here, that they can't just ignore the NASL or ignore the Indy 11. They have to make some kind of investment with it. And if it's going to be a multi-use venue, to your point earlier, then it's an opportunity to potentially invest in the IPY site. Now, granted, that site needs a lot of work.
Yes,
a lot of work. Yes, and that's only from an infrastructure standpoint, but from what you're putting it in the middle of a college campus.
Yep.
So there needs to be some changes in regards to IPY's policies, in regards to how we're going to utilize the facility, where we're going to tailgate, just the logistical aspects, and what are the retail opportunities you're going to put next to it to get people excited about it? Where's your march going to come from? Things that are more cultural to soccer that they don't care about. You're looking at a stadium that now runs east-west, where it really needs to be north-south, because you do get sun in your eyes, as you guys know, in certain parts of the year.
Absolutely.
So you're going to angle the stadium now. You can utilize the river and the angle of the river potentially to be part of it. You're going to have the river end. I mean, there's some cool things you can do with the space, but it's going to require a lot of vision. More than $20 million of the vision.
Well, okay, and that's something we talked about as well, which I think is, which we agree is a base. I think it is a base.
I hope
And
it's a base.
I think so, and I think that's a bare minimum base. And Andy had made an interesting point actually. He goes, "What if Ursal and Peter went into this and they propose this lavish $83 million stadium in hopes that at bare minimum, they go, you know what? Let's invest a lot of money into where you are now because it's something that's antiquated anyways, and we need to do." And then they kind of went, kind of like when first it was like, oh, we're gonna get MLS team, and it was NASL, and we went, yeah, well, we got a team though, and it's kind of the same principle.
And I really hope that the fans make their statement this year by coming out and continue doing what they've been doing, and that's really that's gonna be the thing that really shows that this is for real, right? Our fans have to make the decision they're going to come to the games again this year. They're going to be part of the culture like they were last year. And like I was talking to Tom and the team, is that the ticket structure is going to be different this year, right? I think people are realizing what they can and can't make. Saturday night games are interesting, right? They're family nights. So the people are going to realize, okay, I bought a season ticket last year. I probably used 3/4 of them. So do I need to have a season ticket this year? Can I buy, if you will, per game, right?
Well,
so I think the
Indy
ticket
11
structure is going to
made
be
packs
different
this year, though, too,
Correct.
which was different. They made 4 different packs that you could go through, and it was like a blue pack, red pack, which is huge.
Which I think was
because it helps.
smart.
Yes.
So I just hope
Have
the
you,
fans show up.
and kind of on top of that, have you heard anything? I've been trying to kind of ask around in terms of numbers of tickets sold so far this year, how we're looking.
I know we're on par to probably by season to be on par with what we did last year. We're not going to see any growth necessarily.
Sure.
But
Well, I mean,
It's sellouts.
There's sellouts, right?
hard to
So
grow
we're not going to
from
get any
selling out.
necessarily growth, but at the same time, too, I'm hoping to see just a new set of fans that we haven't seen in the future. So that I want fans who didn't come last year. And surprised enough, as a coach, I talked to a lot of folks who didn't go to a game last year, but yet they're still involved in soccer. So there's a lot of people still who could be coming who haven't come yet. So
we have the flat 12.
floating beer.
Right.
But I talked to a lot of soccer people who still have yet to go to a game. And once those people make it to the game, it makes you a believer and you start going to more games.
It does. And the big thing that we had, the conversation earlier, Andy and I did, and we followed up here, is I can get where state legislative branches are they're a little reserved. And why would they be reserved? Because you go, how many would it's been seven professional teams that have failed. Now, is today like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago? No, it's not. It's not the same. But all they look at is, okay, we have a team that just came in, and the first year, immediately asking for a stadium. Second year, asking for a stadium.
True.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
What's the average age of a state senator, though, to be fair?
Well, no, absolutely. No, I agree with that.
Again, it's ignorance. It's not. It's not that I'm angry. It's ignorance.
You're a little angry.
No, I'm not saying I'm angry. I'm more angry with the fact that we have a governor who wants to sign something to a bill that's going to chase away millions of dollars out of our city.
Here we go.
That's something that infuriates me.
Absolutely.
Soccer stuff is logic. So they're making a logical decision based on fact.
But that's Indiana.
That
speaks
unfortunate.
Indiana.
It's really
because if something like that is something that can pass in Indiana,
good God,
a progressive thing like
soccer,
I view
but
soccer as progressive.
it's very progressive, and it's very much an indicator. I would agree. But I guess I should be somewhat thankful they indicated at all they want to do something.
That's exactly it. And you didn't get to hear it, and I was talking about it, and I tweeted out about Peter Wilt's interview today, and Andy was listening with Greg Rakestraw on 1070 The Fan. That's our double every time you tap.
There you go. There you go, Greggy.
We're former hosts of Soccer Saturday.
We are.
That's fact.
Yes, we are. Well done.
We can
You
say
are
that.
amazing.
I forgot about that.
So, I
Purposely
did a
forgot
great
about
job of talking about this because I think the thing that gets lost here is it's either people were so extreme on this. It's either no stadium, yes stadium, and it's just, there's just no middle ground. And I think this is such a beautiful middle ground because guess what? You're right. To have these guys and you go, what's the age of the Senate? To even have a dialogue and keep it open, regardless of what we think the outcome is. And we said this, the win, lose, or this draw. This is a draw. But it doesn't mean that we lose. We continue on. And I think this is a positive that we can even have this discussion and that both sides are sitting there to do what's right for the city, which they're concerned about, honestly. Let's be honest.
I hope they are.
People get, okay, and I think what gets lost here is you have two sides of that argument too, which is, no, it's you only pay if you go. And you have the other sides go, no, it's going to be taxpayers. Well, guess what? The middle is the truth.
The middle is the truth.
Guess
And
what?
I agree
If
with
the
that.
team happened to fold, guess who's on the fucking line for that?
That's true. That's absolutely true.
So the fact is, this is another alternative, which I think is a great start. And let's just take that and revel in the fact that we have some great new players. I think this is what's crazy.
Yeah.
We're talking less about the incredible signings we have, and all
True.
we talk about is stadium. Let's talk about this team that we have that could be the best in NASL. Our strikers alone, our defense is better, and we have a midfield with a healthy Clubberson and creative
It
people.
looks great on a billboard. I passed one on the way down here.
It
It's pretty
does.
awesome.
It looks good.
See that on
Guys,
Keystone?
Except for the Photoshop that Indy
Everybody
11
doing
has,
this? Yeah.
released today. I was like,
That's not truthful.
Apparently, everybody is almost as tall as Christian.
I know.
So I think there's this dissension, and there's this separation here, and it's so polarizing, and it doesn't need to be. It's you have the proponents that love the stadium are just fighting and are just bickering back and forth with the people that are going, "This stadium's a bad deal. It's like New Deal." I mean, it's just taking no ground.
I can tell you right now because I see it social media a lot, and there's like literally the same two guys that post consistently.
It
This
really
white-haired
is.
guy drives me nuts. He's like, soccer, blah blah. It's a terrible sport. I'm like, please just Google anything. Use the
go back
use
to
the
your
Google. I'm like, use the Google.
As he's like, I can't wait for NASCAR to come back to IMS so I can watch
and
a
by
car
the
go
way,
around and track.
You know what I
for
want to
3
tell
hours.
him? I was like, if you look at Bricyard 400 attendance number since the 1994 when we started that, then you can see the NASCAR is declining. And we're not going to invest in IMS. We just put all new. We're going to put all new signboards, new restrooms, everything out there. I say invest in. And it's again, I'm the same way. Invest in IMS all day. Invest in anything that brings people to Indianapolis that puts us on the map.
Well, until the diverse groups stop coming.
Exactly. It's like it's what until we pass laws that don't allow people who have creativity to come to your city anymore.
That's what's getting missed. We can do all this. We can build a stadium. We can do this. But there's bigger issues to fry here.
And that's what stinks
we're
is
gonna ruin
that
this. Right.
And the
we
other thing,
are.
the other
It
thing
taints
too,
everything, and I don't like to use the word taint ever.
Well,
Because it has multiple
Mike Pitts
meanings.
wouldn't like it.
He would not like it. He doesn't want to talk about my taint. So.
you wouldn't be able to buy a cake down at a cake shop that is now out of business. But anyway,
that's right.
I do. Was that in town?
Yeah, I was here. That's the whole reason that fucking bill got created.
So awful. I mean, it's so. But I mean, religious freedom. Do we really need? Man, this is a whole different topic.
No, but the point is,
don't we already have religious freedom? Don't we have people come
would've-
over on the I don't call the Mayflower, and they all come over here?
Constitution?
Isn't that already like written in?
I just want to give
Here's
a
much
shout out.
religious freedom as
I
you
want to give
want.
a shout out to Gen Con today because
No kidding.
that is 56,000
Amen,
people
Gen Con.
a year that comes in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna dress up with all of you.
Probably one of the most diverse groups you're going to find of board games, gaming in general, and to come out as the CEO and the owner and president of it to go out and say, listen, we have been here for how many years, and this type of legislature really makes us rethink what we're doing.
And not only Gen Con, it's gonna be anything with new business. Period.
Absolutely.
Well,
I'm
and-
sure glad we built that new airline
Jason
route
Collins.
to.
Yeah, Jason Collins.
Oh, I loved it. I loved it. Put him on blast.
Served when I come to cover the Final Four.
I thought it was great that he put him on blast. And another thing too is that we built this wonderful air route to San Francisco all the time. We're going to filter the gays directly to our city. We have to shut down the airline now.
Right.
We can't have the gays coming directly to our city. They need to go through another city.
Exactly.
Stop in St. Louis, then come here. So we
It's
pretend like you're not coming.
It's like
This is
I
ridiculous.
figure Mike Pence and all these guys are continually running 1984 Eddie Murphy. Where he's like, oh no, it's different when you're in San Francisco, and they're like, woo, over. Like it's just weird.
It's awful. It's absolutely awful and ignorant.
I'm gonna be honest. We're 2 steps away from allowing businesses basically say, oh, guess what? You're black. Go. You have your own place. You have your own water fountain. You have your own bathroom.
It's
like
it's
there's
Selma
difference.
all over again. We're going to start marching in the
ba-
streets.
It's just bad. This opens up a bad and sets a bad precedent for so many other ways. It's literally a gateway into, well, now with my religious beliefs, I don't think I should serve you because you have.
What if you're
a beard.
agnostic or you're atheist? Do you have your own place now too? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. So.
Back to the stadium.
Oh, no, it's fun, but it all does interrelate.
Yeah,
I hate to say it that way. So.
And one of the things that I kind of talked to Chris about is, okay, what if we create this $80 million some odd dollar stadium, and obviously the team folds.
Okay.
And then everybody's on the hook for whatever money is not made up for, say 10 years.
Yep.
What's the chance of ever getting a soccer team here ever again?
0.
He's fair. That's fair. I would say,
it's like, okay, now we're screwed.
We can't drop the ball again.
No.
And if you think about what the MLS has done in terms of their growth and their growth pattern, they've been pretty smart and strategic. I mean, they realized that things weren't working. When they watched NASL fold so many years ago, making all that investment up front, they picked a really smart business model. They're growing the right way. They're picking the right cities. I want to be the right city, but I want to be the right city at the right time. There's no way in heck the MLS is never going to take every major soccer program from every major city in the freaking United States eventually anyway. They're eventually going to have to create a tiered system. There's no doubt about it. Look at the history of the ABA and the NBA. Look at the history of the AFL and the NFL. You will find a way. You will continue to find a way.
Well,
you're not going to turn down revenue.
Speaking of
the TV contracts alone across every one of those cities is ridiculous.
Speaking of popularity, thank you for the segue, Josh. Obviously,
done this before.
I've talked to a couple of people that know some things, and
then by know some things mean know some things.
Know some things. Can't reveal my sources.
Continue.
But it looks like every NASL game is going to be broadcast on ESPN3.
I read that twice today.
But it was rumor. Now it's apparently, well, the rumors have some truth behind it, is what I've been told.
Good. I think it should.
Somebody actually just tweeted us earlier today saying that the first 4 weeks, every NASL game is already listed on ESPN3 right now.
That's perfect.
So,
what's that going to do for Wish TV's contract then? They have to use their feed.
Well, when it was the game of the week, it was always the home team's feed that they would pipe through.
So it's good. So Greg Extra and team will get featured on ESPN3 as well as local. That's great.
Great.
Exactly. That's great for Greg. That gives him a lot of great exposure too.
Plus, I don't know if anybody has experienced NASL live, but that thing was a bit of a mess.
Wow. Yeah. I will never make that investment again.
Yeah.
That's for darn sure.
So team-wise,
yes,
let's talk a little bit because we got about 7 minutes before Indy closes, and we got to get off air. But team-wise, what are you thinking about some of the signings and some of the?
You've had the advantage of seeing a little bit more than I have, and so I guess a healthy Cleberson makes a huge difference. Is what I'm hearing from a midfield standpoint. I talked to the coaches the other day. Where
Mr. Almost Amazing.
Yeah, I mean, he's always grazing the post. So we were talking quite a bit at the rally about what the team looks like. It says that fitness is an issue right now for obvious reasons. But if we can get the fitness right, I mean, adding Corey Miller to the back line last year meant a lot. Hopefully that same thing happens this year, that same kind of magic across that back line. And now Charlie's back. I mean, that's a huge signing. People are really undervaluing what he brought to the team. Charlie brought a lot of pace, kept defenses on their toes, made them play back on them quite a bit, and they've created a lot more space for the midfield. So I'm really hoping that stays the way it does.
At the preseason game the other day, Norales looked in form already.
He's a beast.
I mean, he was at Corey Miller looked really good.
How's Don Smart look?
Don Smart actually started.
So I don't think he's that bench
because it was actually kind of backwards, but that's okay. Christian looked good. There were some shaky back lines. There was some shaky back passes from Janicki, which I think
that could be fitness.
Being new, also being new to the team, chemistry wise, so
healthy Brad Ring. I think that makes a lot of difference. I think he plays great when he's on the field.
Right. So we talk about Charlie Rugg and then obviously Brian Brown coming in. Rambo.
Rambo.
What's funny is now we have two players that have both played on Philadelphia, their last MLS stint here. But I brought up the point today. So we got a questionnaire that it came through from a new writing from Minnesota. I say it puts out. Yep. So he wants us to be the experts for
Indy
11 on this. And one of the questions was
northpitch.com.
Yep.
Northern Pitch.
Okay. Why don't you chew that shit up first?
Thank you, Mark from Chatham for the delicious pizza. But northernpitch.com.
There it is. Northernpitch.com. So we now have kind of talent up front with the midfield where I like to use the term they're fast. So fast we might be able to pace abuse some teams.
I really hope we can.
Right, which leads to a more aggressive play style.
But also on the counter you have to watch yourself.
It can. So with having a back line, and we look at the last 5 games basically of last season, completely different. Backline really was very cohesive, and I didn't have to yell nearly fucking back post.
Like his back post. Right. I sat next to you every game. I think you said that.
Right. So I
because
think
it was true.
It was true. It was very exposed.
So if you have guys that now can pace abuse, you're exactly right, and create in the middle, this could be a completely. I don't think people understand. This is going to be a completely. Just look at the players we have. A completely different brand of soccer than we had last year. This was as soon as the chemistry hits here, you're going to see some things we didn't see last year, and we might very well see more goals. We have guys that just know how to find.
See more goals.
We will.
We truly do. It creates more excitement. It makes it better. Makes a better product. And I hate to say that goals help sell tickets, but they do.
It
They
does,
truly do.
absolutely.
It's a game.
And
It's more
creative
smoke.
goals, creative people.
More smoke.
Right.
That's what we need. More smoke equals more goals. More goals equals more smoke.
More
So,
smoke.
More smoke.
Pick out one of the questions that that Alex asked us to ask him to kind of close up.
Okay. What would you say the biggest weakness of our team is this year?
Well, it's for so far it's fitness and chemistry. Those are the two things we got to figure out. I mean, we know we got talent. I mean, we saw the talent a little bit on the field last year. Injuries got us a little bit last year. Backline we couldn't figure out till late. But
I did tell him I want the injury bug to stay the far as hell away.
No
as it
kidding,
can-
but it's
can be
it's
from
really
Indy.
tough, man. When you watch the team, I said we didn't have anything up front for the longest time. And no offense to Ben Spencer, who I thought was serviceable up front. He didn't bring a lot of creativity like he brought to the U20s, which I didn't understand. So whatever he was doing in the U20s didn't really translate on the field because he wasn't as effective. Now the player that I think that I'll miss this year more than we don't have is Blake Smith. I mean, when I went back to Montreal, am I correct? So
Yeah,
you're correct.
or Ambersley. To me,
Ambersley. I mean, Ambersley was great. The only thing Ambersley didn't have was size, and I love Mike. He's a good buddy. And,
Pitbull. He was a Wayne Rooney.
but the only thing with Mike is
Well, that's
that
the thing Peter
if
said
you're
is like it was weird letting him go.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's tough if you're playing a ball across the middle. Mike's going to be the guy that's going to get the first head on it, right?
What about Jones?
What about him?
I mean, that was one of the tough ones to.
Dude, Mason's face right now, as
All
you
right.
can see on camera. He just,
Okay.
what about him?
I'm saying, what was your thoughts on it?
I mean, I think that was one of the tough ones to lose too.
I mean, I like to have Estridge back because I thought Estridge played very serviceable.
That was
for what he did.
one of the weird things. Is like,
Because I have some relationships with these guys too. Estridge was a great guy. He's a
Can't
great
make
guy to be.
personal.
No, that's
yeah, you
right.
can't make it
Personal,
personal.
I mean, he looked
Estridge is
awesome
a
in
great
his.
guy.
He looked awesome in a boot
Business.
when he was rocking his boot.
Yeah.
His big boot for his foot. But Estridge was a good player. I mean, he got exposed on occasion, but I mean, really for the most part, he was very serviceable in the back. I mean, at the anything, I thought he'd still make the roster. So,
And quick follow up: how do you see?
and Jones, as much as I liked him, I'm going to go back to it. As much as I liked him as a player, my understanding is that there was contract issues, were there not?
yeah, he wanted more money. That
a lot more money than we could even begin to.
Right, especially at age and all that, right? Yeah.
Correct.
So okay, so NASL this year, how do you see the NASL? My answer to this question was, I think this is a year where you really see you have a lot of new talent that came into the NASL, which makes us very competitive from top to bottom. And I asked the question, why do people love the BPL? Not me so much, but why do people love the BPL? It's because from
How was
top
El
to bottom.
Clasico? I didn't get to watch that. But
You know
did
what?
you watch that game?
I did. You know what? So we split again, which is
Oh,
what
God,
happens.
here
Was
we
it a
go.
great game?
It was a great game.
Okay, exactly. That's
And
all we
Ronaldo's
can ask.
goal was pretty sick. Benzema has some
Benzema's
eyes in the back of his head.
assist
so.
was amazing. So, and I hate Neymar, flopping king.
Oh, he's a flopper.
Oh my God!
I don't
So,
like to.
but they love the BPL because from top to bottom, it is competitive. At any point, you don't want this to happen, but guys like Chelsea can lose to bottom end teams, and it's competitive. So I think NASL, I think you're going to see that this year. I think you'll have teams that are going to be in the bottom, and yes,
I agree.
But I think they're going to be great competitive games. So that's what I think. NASL is not going to be looked at as necessarily the unbelievable little brother of MLS. I think people are going to be able to see, especially if this ESPN3 thing comes through as well, that there's some incredible games and great soccer being played at this other level.
I would agree. No, I would agree, and the fact that there's so much American talent being scoped here who wants to stay here too. So
we're getting closed down.
So that's good. So there's a lot of American talent wanting to stay in the United States too, which you didn't see in the past. So with that being said, people are not choosing to go overseas and trying to make a name for themselves. They're staying here. So
Josh,
he's got to go for 5 minutes.
Oh, anyway,
Okay. So wrap it up.
But yeah, so Josh, appreciate being on. Obviously, you're going to be on with
Did
us.
you have a question?
No,
Just one more question.
No, I don't have any more questions.
Okay. All right.
I think we
We're
got to
good.
get all our plugs out.
All right.
But thanks for putting this together. Obviously, you've got a bit of responsibility now for the next
for a while.
Yeah,
So
but
I'll do it until someone else can.
I will say this.
Running in 2016.
I'm gonna probably this guy will probably agree with me, but from the moment we talked to you guys back,
Bruges.
2 years ago?
Bruges,
13.
getting hammered
Oh,
off
geez.
of triple to ripples, Gabe was just gone.
It was a good night.
Yeah, it was a good night. But from the get go, the Bricyard Battalion has been great to us. You obviously have been great to us.
That's because I'm friends with you guys.
Yeah, that's true too.
I play.
Pretty good guy.
I'm
He's a
totally
pretty
playing
damn good
favorites.
guy.
Totally
yes.
playing favorites.
And you know my neighbor really well and his brother. That's
true.
So the Sullivans. Shout out to Brian Sullivan because I know
Be
we're
Sully.
getting on there. The Sullys, right?
Give it up for the Sullies. IFD represent.
Right. But no, you guys have been great to us. Just same thing as the team. Team's been great to us. We'll definitely have you on as
Needed.
the producer role
Yeah,
when you
so-
can.
God, president and producer. That's
Oh,
a lot.
man,
I need more
Father.
titles. More titles.
Got you.
Father of 4.
Yeah.
But no, definitely, this was kind of cool to let us come down here and broadcast and kind of
Shout
Indie
out to Fringe
Fringe.
again.
Shout out to the team, of course. PermanentRelegation.com at PR Podcast Show.
And Fisher's Chatham.
Mark from Fisher's Chatham.
Amazing support.
Or Chatham Fisher.
You ever,
Funny how you look at it.
you ever
yes.
shave that beard, I'm going to kick you in the balls. But
Chatham Fisher's.
Oh, you got something to say.
The sharp upside down on the projection screen.
No idea. Nobody actually saw that, so no one has any reference to what you're fucking saying right now.
Here.
Okay. All right.
We got, so there's a sharp.
There's a sharp upside down right there.
The sharp upside down. We're not sure.
Anyway, real quick. Speaking of Chatham Tap and Fishers, we now, thanks to Josh, have speakers. So you guys can come out. So now you can come to Chatham, frequent their delicious beers that they have on
Listen
tap.
to MWA Live with the
I
children.
hear from Flat 12. I hear from Flat 12. This will be can or draft will be at.
All right.
Boom. And so
I think
this will
that's
be
the first round.
This will be the official beer of the PR Podcast Show. Every week we will have a can out there. I will be drinking this. Andy might be drinking a 9.8% Imperial Stout.
I'll be drinking that.
I
I do love full 90. It's getting springtime. It's a good summer beer. So
I mean, and I know some people. I know I noticed some faces in the room. People think you're selling out when you're doing this in some ways. But it's a really cool partnership. I don't know how you look at it.
Forever.
Yeah,
I mean, you're going to drink beer at a game regardless.
Hipsters.
I mean,
but
you're
anyway.
gonna have an opportunity to have a beer at a game regardless. Wouldn't it be great to have a product that you can drink and actually give back to the people?
But we would love to have you guys, listeners, come out to Fisher's Chatham on the Tuesdays that we're there. Come be a part. We're probably going to even set up a microphone for people to ask questions, participate in the show, make it a lot more interactive too. So we're really looking forward to that.
Just check our website now, permanentrelegation.com.
Which is really great.
Check us out on check us out on Twitter at PR Podcast Show. Check us out on Facebook, and then obviously go out to iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud. Check our shows out. The support here, you support the BYB, you support India.
Thousands of people listen to the show every week.
Yeah,
so.
and go to Fisher's Chatham, support Fisher's Chatham, and thanks for joining us, guys. We'll talk to you later.
It's been good.
Love you guys.
Juices, thrices, go fuck
quads.
Glory, Man United.